no shame.
See, this is why Snapchat is dying.
Show no shame.
I don't
shame,
even use
shame,
Snapchat
shame,
anymore.
shame.
I'm thinking about investing into Snapchat
You
because you know who's partnering with them?
Who?
Amazon.
I'm doing a pseudo
Oh,
record
shit.
And
right
Amazon
now.
just hit $2,000 a
Started.
share today.
Amazon.
Damn.
is
They
taking
said by
over
the end
world.
of the year, it will become $1 trillion company.
I thought it already is $1 trillion company. That's what
Nah.
happened.
Mm-hmm.
They're just getting close to it.
They're getting close to it.
Mic check.
Hey, dude,
Who
that's
is
scary.
it? Wait, what company?
Amazon?
Amazon, yeah.
Mic check. It's not gonna work if you hold it there.
I am that gang. Hey, welcome to this very special 10th episode of Show No Shame. That was a pseudo intro. They didn't even know I was recording, ladies and gentlemen.
No,
But I
thanks
got
for the
him.
heads up.
Oh,
I didn't say anything.
On the
so.
slickness.
are we allowed to cuss on this podcast?
Fuck yeah.
Fuck no.
Yeah, there you go.
The fuck is wrong with you? I am Benji Phillis. As usual, I'm joined tonight by my two co-hosts, Jken,
What up?
Carter Bodacious.
Hey, yo.
And we have two very special guests. We've been trying to make this happen for a while. It's finally happening. We have Sali and Pia in the building.
Boo boo boo.
Hey,
Yeah,
boys.
yeah.
Did a vocal
Yeah.
version of that.
Say what?
I said boo boo boo.
Oh, hold on. We hitting the motherfucker.
on myself.
We're gonna be
Honestly.
obnoxious with this shit tonight because I'm on fucking cloud 9 with this episode. This is gonna be a fun one.
So am I.
Cloud 10.
Yeah,
It's
Cloud
episode
10.
10.
Episode 10, all 10s.
All 10s.
Is this episode
This
10?
is episode.
This is
10.
episode
Episode
10.
10.
Wow.
That's a
We made it.
that's a milestone. Jken,
Shut up, bitch.
Damn.
savage. That was Alex Jones yelling "Shut up, bitch" at you.
Oh, cool. I'm the
He
only
doesn't have
guy, by the
headphones.
way, for people listening that don't have a pair of headphones. So, you know, fuck me.
We gonna
Oh.
rock anyway.
I have regular headphones. Oh, actually, I have a great pair of headphones. You want to use them?
No, it's all
You can
good.
use them.
It's all good.
I think now the
Yeah.
audience knows that we're all broke. Now that we don't have headphones for our guests.
Hey, hey,
We
hey.
take
hey.
donations.
Speak for yourself.
Broke-ish.
Okay.
Broke-ish.
Shoot it to our Venmo.
I just bought my dog Yeezys. He was so happy. All right, so have
Wait,
you
are
met
you
Jay?
serious?
Yeah, I was about to say, is that a
serious
joke
statement?
or are you being serious right now?
Please.
No, I was the facilitator. Like I got the early access code for the triple whites, and then
How do
yeah,
you like that?
I'm not a fan of them.
what?
How do you like the triple whites?
They're okay. I mean, it's like I'll spray the fuck out of them with Crep Protect, and then and you know they're just shoes though, man.
Yeah.
They're sneakers. Like,
Yeah.
what am I supposed to do? Like, I've had the
You put them in your closet,
the
in the
bread.
box, and you never look at them again.
No, I've had
Pretty
I've had the
much.
breads
Until you
and I've
sell them.
abused them. Like I walked through like rainy days in Sydney. I didn't give a fuck. Like it's fine. They're sneakers.
Yeah.
And you know what's funny is the V2s aren't comfortable enough to like play ball in or do anything like athletic in.
Well, they're
Is-
also crazy expensive.
Yeah,
I don't want to like
well,
fuck
no.
them
To
up.
be fair, if you get early access and you buy them, they're just like $250 shoes. It's not like anything crazy. Like when you buy them after
Look.
they've already sold out for $1,000, then
Oof.
you're less inclined to wear them out in the rain and all
I've
that shit.
noticed that Yeezys are like the only like pair of shoes that you could like resell for higher.
Oh yeah, no, they appreciate immediately. Like they're already worth 500.
Yeah. See,
Like,
like
wish
you
they
can't.
weren't so ugly.
You can't do that.
That's what
with,
I'm
like, a
saying.
Yeah.
Gucci.
Why do they gotta look
I
so
don't
ugly?
understand the new shoe culture. It looks like everyone's wearing like a
I
school
agree.
bus.
No,
on
it
the
was
playground.
cut-
I just
I
don't.
agree.
I don't get it.
I feel-
I really
1000% I
don't.
agree.
They get bigger and like it's like what the Spice Girls did back in the day.
Oh, with those
but
huge
that was so
platforms
and
much
all?
cooler. Yeah, because at least it was like platform shoe.
The 70s retro.
And now I'm like, what's happening? Like, why does it come out the back and the front and the sides? Like, are you wearing a spaceship on your feet? I don't get it. I don't like it.
That's why you got to keep it classic. Vans, Converse.
Yeah,
Straight
I'm
up.
into that.
pretty much.
I'm into that.
But then you do what Jerry Lorenzo did, and then you have the Fear of God Vans with just like Fear of God all over them, which is that's tacky anyway.
Yeah.
That's pretty
Hey,
tacky.
I like Fear of God.
No. Their sixth season with Jared Leto, that shit, I wanted everything in that catalog. But yes, welcome everybody with a fucking side tangent of the millennium. We are joined tonight, as I said, by Pia and Sali.
Hey.
Sally is in talent management,
Yeah.
which is at being in the city of LA. And then we have Pia, who's in entertainment PR.
Hey guys.
What's up? So we're going to get into the shits tonight about current events, topical shit.
I thought you just
everything.
said, we're going to have the shits tonight. I was like, what? I did not sign up for
That's the
this.
Hot Ones episode. We haven't recorded that one yet.
Shame. Oh, I die.
No, I'm not that wild. That gets weird. We were talking about eating ass before this started.
Whoa, okay. What did I say?
I was not
about
participating
talking
in
about
that
eating ass in
conversation.
my apartment.
I
Don't
wish-
fucking do that. We're not doing that.
Straight
that didn't happen.
disrespect.
I mean, they had the conversation. Pia
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I
yeah.
did not.
Yeah, no, we did not, and I told them to stop, and they have it.
It was brief. It was brief.
We're going to revisit this probably in like 10 minutes.
No, we're not. No, we're not. We're not gonna
This topic is not
You're
being
crazy.
revisited.
Carter just put this on the docket. Like, this is what you signed up for, Pia.
No, I did not. I will.
This is
kick
why
you
you're
guys
friends
out of
with
my.
us.
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
It's a wrap.
Yeah, it's a wrap.
This is what ends friendships.
This is literally what's going to end our friendship. We keep talking about eating ass. Like, that's
Eating
just-
ass and running ass.
No, what? Stop! I don't even know what running ass means.
My mom literally said, she's like, I hit, you know that little button that skips 15 seconds in episodes on the iPhone? She's like, I hit that when you guys start talking about shit like that.
Oh my
Oh
god!
my God.
No, we're done talking about it.
Okay.
Thanks, Mom.
I'm sorry.
Shouts out to all the lovely, happy couples eating ass.
Oh God.
No. All right. We'll get the show going. That was just a fun intro. I'm overexcited tonight.
Brush your teeth after sleep.
Brush your teeth. No, going into everything, I guess we start every episode by getting to know our guests. So,
Okay.
whichever you would like to go first. Essentially, like,
After you.
You're such a stupid bitch.
Would you tell them our story of how we became roommates?
yeah, please. I actually don't know that story.
You don't.
I don't think so either.
We
Yeah.
became roommates.
Pia looks like she forgot.
No, she.
No, we became roommates thanks to a mutual friend.
Yeah.
We actually, I think the coolest thing about us becoming roommates was that we moved into this apartment 4 weeks after we decided that we were going to become roommates.
No shit.
Signed
Yeah.
our lease. 4 weeks later.
Signed or at least 4 weeks after.
That's
I mean,
bold.
long
Damn.
story short, we went to dinner with our mutual friend,
Yeah.
and then she, for some reason, thought our friend had moved out, and then she was like, "Oh, I want to be on the west side, but like rent is crazy, and like I want to get a 1-bedroom, but it doesn't work." And literally, I had just had this conversation with someone maybe like 6 hours before, and I'm looking at her talk, and I went, "Wait." And I just like raised my hand like a little elementary school loser, and I was like, Me,
Pick
I'm
me.
doing the same thing.
Sign me up, coach.
West Side, this is my budget. Let's go. Literally, she texted me that next morning. We start looking at places, and this apartment was the first listing she ever sent
Unreal.
me.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, no,
Yeah.
we were
Wow.
both living at home.
We were.
We were both living at home.
Well, what's
and we did-
crazy is we had hung out one time before, technically.
one time before?
Yes.
I wanted to say it was like
Maybe it was 2, but one of them doesn't count because I don't remember anything.
okay, just because you blacked out doesn't mean that we didn't hang out.
No, you know what? I remember
Psycho.
the night. However,
That's
The
like I
next
took a
morning
nap
was
around you that one time.
brutal.
And I never met you.
Yo, I took her out one night. Let me like blacked out.
no. I wasn't. I wasn't as locked out as you were. The next, you forgot your wallet in my purse, and somehow I went home with it.
Oh shit, I remember that.
Yeah. Anyway,
Well,
that's
yeah.
how we became roommates. But we luckily it worked out because like we
Yeah.
hadn't even hung out.
Yeah,
4
no,
or
we
5
like
times.
we really chanced it for sure. I feel like
Yeah.
the odds were definitely against us, and then we moved in together,
We're like, fuck everyone, look what's happening.
and then it
Now
became
we're-
literally the
bitch.
totally. I
lit.
think it's like the best decision I've made in a really long
It
time.
seems like it. Like it's funny how when you move in with roommates, it's like so similar to a relationship of like, oh, the chemistry seems unreal.
totally no 1000%. Like
It matters.
this could have gone like horribly
This could
bad.
have been terrible.
Terrible.
Yeah, it could have backfired. You know, like within like that first month, you're just like, I fucking hate you now,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I
yeah,
gotta
yeah.
In
withstand
college,
the rest
I
of
had
this.
the worst. I mean, I think that's what it was for me. I was like, "Fuck it, I need to move out, and it's gonna
Yeah.
be on the west side." And at that point, I'm like, "There's no worse roommates I can have than the ones I had in college." So
She
I'm
had like
okay.
3 cats and 4 goldfish.
There was a
What's wrong with
ginger
goldfish?
who would shower and not take her hair out of the drain,
Ew.
and then pretend
Ooh.
like she couldn't see it. And I'm like, "Bro, our tub is white, and you're like, what? How are you confused as to how this protocol
Oh my
works?"
God.
So we have separate bathrooms, so we don't
Yeah.
have that
No, but
Problem
like,
solved.
Problem
Yeah.
solved there.
What the
but I mean,
fuck?
like,
So whose
just-
bathroom was hair all around the drain and shit?
Mine.
Oh, okay.
No,
Cool.
no one's. No, I mean, I don't know because I don't use your bathroom.
Yeah,
thank
that's true.
God. But like, I've had terrible roommate situations. I was like, you know
That's
what?
fair.
I've never had a
Can't
roommate.
can't be worse than that.
I
I had
can't.
9 roommates in London when I was studying.
Yeah,
abroad.
Sally.
Not- you said
Yeah,
nine?
yeah.
Nine
Sally, you guys
girls.
got to start with Sally first because her story is like way cooler
Wait,
than
hold on.
mine.
No, it's not.
No,
Hold up.
yes, it is.
Hold up. So London's mad expensive though. So was it just like a 2-bedroom with 3 girls? And or
No, that would be crazy.
Fuck that.
Actually, you know
That'd
what?
be
It's
crazier.
not that crazy. So I studied abroad at USC. Fight on, everyone. That was a crazy thing too, because for some reason I'd always wanted to study abroad in London. I don't know why. I just felt like I needed to be there.
Such a
And
cool
then-
city too.
And I studied public relations at USC, and at the time, the only place you could study abroad was New Zealand. And I was like, you know what? Okay, let's do it. Fuck it. Lord of the Rings, let's go. And that first month that we started school, the year that I could study abroad, they introduced a London program, which was insane. And the only 9 students signed up or something like that. But they put us in this amazing flat in this location that's not even you can't even live there, honestly. It's right by the British Museum. Like, they don't even have homes. It was just the best located place in the world. It was at the top of the building, so the 2 floors at the top. So technically it was a duplex, and they had 5 girls on each floor. There's only 2 bedrooms on each floor. So in my room there was 3 girls, and then 2 girls in the room next door. But it's like, how are you gonna put 3 girls in one room? And then 2 next door,
That's a
and then
cage
5
match.
upstairs. But it worked out. I don't know how.
Word. Oh, cool.
It was insane. But I was like, you know what? After these experiences, if Pia's a psychopath killer, I mean, I'll deal with it, right?
But I am.
Yeah, no,
She'll
you're
admit
fine.
it, though.
You're great.
Oh, totally. She knows. I'm like,
But I'm on her good side, so we're good.
yeah. Like Sally's seen.
She'll mercifully kill you when that time comes.
Yes.
Oh yeah, totally. But Sally's seen that, and I think that after seeing that with that mutual friend that whatever. I mean,
Almost lost the lot.
No, but Sally and I don't see each other enough for her to get on my bad side or for me to get on her bad side. So it's like, it's mutual. Like, we have a mutual respect for each other, and like, we're never home, and she has her space, I have my space, and it's pretty good. It's solid.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's ideal at that point. And it's good to be busier than bored, because I feel like
Totally.
boredom only like adds insult to injury.
Like,
Yeah.
honestly, can you even be bored nowadays, though? That's my thing.
I know a lot of loser
yes,
fucks
yes,
are
yes,
bored.
yes, 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 yes,
100%.
yes,
There's
yes.
so much. Remember,
Because
they're living off their parents'
a
money.
long time ago, not to date myself, but like when there wasn't the internet and all you had were board games and like whatever was on TV.
right.
That's boredom. How are you bored nowadays? There's YouTube,
I've heard girls, like when we go out, not only girls, well, no, because guys, when they go out, are like motivated in other ways, in fucking weirdo Kavanaugh ways. And it's like, I'm just saying.
So tired.
I've been watching that shit all day on CNN. No, but what I'm saying is, like, I've heard girls at like Victorian and shit be like, I'm bored, I want to go. Be like, how are you bored? There's like sensory overload here right now. You're with all your friends and they're all laughing, having fun, and you're just in the corner with, the shade face on.
And like at that point, you have a phone. Like,
and you're in a city.
go on
Yeah.
Twitter.
You're not in
Google
rural
something.
like Missouri.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
Walk to the next
Totally.
place next door that's just probably open and they probably have food. I don't know.
I feel you
I
on
think
that.
this comes down to what your definition of boredom is, because boredom's
Yeah.
different for everybody.
That's true.
I
That's true.
guess.
That's the big thing. Like, maybe if someone like this individual you're talking about is bored at the bars because,
That was a
being
general statement.
social
There's
is
no
just,
dick
like-
there. That's why.
I just think it all comes down to how you define boredom. That's how it is.
That's true.
That's true.
Personally, I just don't like being sedentary. So I'm like, my mind's always working. So it's like I can be enthralled in a movie and sitting still, but that's because I'm focused on something else. My mind's racing through everything. But then, I can't just sit back and enjoy a sunset. And
Same.
We know you would never do that anyway.
I know. I
Yeah.
was about to say, dude.
I
Like, when have you
tried.
ever just been like, hey, do you
Same.
guys just want to go see the sunset together today?
I held your hand on a beach and
We
we
swung
walked.
pinkies and shit.
Damn. What
Word?
the fuck?
Carter's like, the fuck? Where was I?
Yeah, I
Pia's
could've been
like,
the
I've
third
never
link to that.
known you guys on this level before.
Yeah, seriously.
She's known
We've
us
been
on
through a
this
lot.
level.
Actually, I have. So yeah, that's how we became roommates.
That's how we became roommates. But Pia, tell us about yourself.
No, you tell
Well,
us
it's
about your
no,
friend.
well, it's
Piece of
so
shit.
it's so funny, and I think like everybody says opposites attract, but in your guys' case, you're similarly inclined with your career paths.
Yes.
I think that might be the only thing we're similar
that
on.
I was just
That
about to say.
and
I was like, where are you going with that? Because we are very different.
But like I think living habits is something that needs to be similar.
Yes.
And we're both
Mhm.
clean the same
Yep.
way. We're both
Good.
like
Nice.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
so
Very,
that's
very
similar.
similar.
Everything else is pretty very
Yeah,
different.
very different.
We
But
might look alike a little bit too.
yeah, and like some photos are like it's really scary how we
People
can
hit me
look
up. They're
alike.
like, "Is that your sister? I didn't know you
Yeah.
had one." I'm like, "Dude, you're my cousin. I don't have a sister.
Yeah.
you know this." And they're like, "I don't know." I'm like, "Okay, great."
But yeah, no, I agree. I think that we're similar in our careers for sure. And then like in our like living habits, we're also very similar. And then everything else we're really different. But it works out. It balances out.
That's cool.
Yeah. So
Have
I
you
like
Yin and
it.
yang.
Have you guys ever connected on a work level?
Yeah.
Well, like, have
actually.
you worked together? Is
You-
that the
yeah,
question?
something like that, or even if it's like, oh, my client wants to blah
Yeah,
blah blah,
just,
like you
just,
know,
just like
Just
yesterday.
recently, yesterday.
It's like, hey, you know,
She needed a
I'm trying to
contact.
make this work, and
Yeah.
then she goes, "Oh, I have a contact there," and so she looped me in on an email, and then I actually
Tight.
it worked
Oh,
out.
perfect.
That's cool. I
Yeah.
like that, like kind of
Yeah.
like mutual benefit.
And
that,
we
like,
were
roommates
going
like you
to
guys have.
like really get it like in together with like our work stuff on a separate project, but it didn't end up working out. So that would have been really like interesting to see how like her and I would have worked out together, like because that would have been like both of us would have been on the same exact project.
Right.
So
Work and sleep together.
yeah, literally like, but that
Powerhouse.
that didn't motherfucking work out. So I'll let Sally take it from here.
Oh, okay.
Why it didn't work out.
Well, I
just
guess
kidding.
I guess the underlying question I had is like,
Sorry, we have
did-
a lot of inside jokes. Okay. What?
well, did both of you grow up in LA?
No.
No, actually,
Oh, word.
didn't. I was born in
Interesting.
Iran. I was there till I was 6.
I'm
Yo.
You know what? Someone had to do
Yo.
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm sorry.
Please disclose your ethnicity so we don't get shot.
I was.
I die. Okay.
I was born in Iran. I moved to Canada when I was 6 with my family. And then I was there for about 4.5 years. But that's where I learned English. That's where I went to elementary school.
Oh, word.
Damn.
Randomly, randomly feel like I have a weird, when people are like, oh, where are you from? I have a really hard time saying LA.
Same.
But I've been here for almost 17 years now. However, it's like I was born in Iran. I went to Vancouver. And then we went to visit my mom's brother in Florida.
Florida's
Just can't
weird.
believe that.
Well,
Yeah,
that's the place
exactly.
where you go to die.
Except for
when-
Miami. Florida's
Dog's retirement
But
home.
for some reason, like we went, I don't know what happened. I was too young to like figure it out. But we got there and school had already started, and so I went to half of 5th grade in Florida. I would have I loved it. I was like, I'd never been cool my entire life, and then in Florida for some reason it worked out. Which in
She's
hindsight,
so unique.
She's
in
cool.
hindsight, I'm like, yo, I was cool in Florida at that time. Oh, you for sure were not cool, you know. But I went to Florida, became a Tampa Bay Bucks fan, unfortunately for me. But yay,
Oh God.
we're killing it right now.
I don't know football.
I'm with Ben.
But my I would have continued there, but my dad had come to LA already to start everything for the family, and he came to Florida and was like, "Look, I think it'd be really smart for you to finish the rest of 5th grade in LA so that when you go to middle school, you have some friends." And I was like, "I
Smart.
love it here. I'm
Yeah.
cool. No way." So he comes
And
back.
that's a jump. That's a
It is
jump.
That
It's
is.
literally across the country. And so he came back for Christmas and he gives me an envelope. He's like, look, you can only have this Christmas present if you move to LA. I was like, all right, open it. And it's like 3 tickets to see the Backstreet Boys.
Oh,
wow.
shit.
Black and Blue Tour 2001 Staples Center.
That's how
I
you
was
bribe
like,
them.
yo, are
That's how
we
you do
leaving
it.
tonight or what? I'm down. Let's go. And my friends were like, you're leaving us for the Backstreet Boys? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, yo, is the sky blue?
That's how cool I
Yes.
am.
Please, mic drop out. And then I've been in LA ever since.
Cool.
Which has been the biggest blessing, I think.
Same.
Yet I still have a hard time saying I'm from LA for some reason.
100%. I agree with you. I'm the same way. I was born.
I feel like your story's crazier than mine.
No, it's the same thing. I was born in Paris.
You went to a Backstreet Boys concert to
That's
bring you here?
yeah. That's literally how is it the same? Please
Well,
enlighten
I
us.
was
No,
row 23.
I'm sorry, her sentence started with I was born in Paris. So
Yeah.
So I was born in Paris, and then I moved. I think I moved to Iran. I'm not too sure. I was really, really young, and then no. Yeah, Paris to Iran, and then like back to Paris, and then I moved to the States. I moved to DC, and I literally like moved between DC and LA for 10 years, back and forth, like every 2 to 3 years. So I went to elementary school, middle school, and high school, all in Virginia and in LA.
Whoa.
So I've known, like, for example, like Connor,
Mhm.
I've known Connor since the 5th grade, but I'd be like, oh, like we met in the 5th grade. I'd leave for 7th and 8th, and then I'll be back for 9th. So I'd be like, oh, I'll see you guys in a couple years. Like
Yeah.
I've known, a lot of people, like I've known like Rachel Tenzer for that long, but I didn't know her like consistently for 10 years. I was always going like back and forth.
And those years, a lot changes. Those years specifically.
Yeah.
Like
Totally.
in those, yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of like my story. And I've been here since 10th grade.
I mean, it's good to it's that's what I've found is it's great to be well traveled. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, totally. I
Like,
feel like
even if it's bi-coastal, because the values are so different.
That is the truest statement, honestly.
Yeah, like
because
yeah.
people don't. I feel like I've known people throughout that have never traveled. Like I used to know someone. We just don't talk anymore. But I used to know someone who never even got their passport. Like they've never been past
that's weird.
like San Diego or San Francisco.
Okay,
even
well,
then.
I don't think
I've never
that requires a passport.
I've
That's
never
the-
left.
that's
Yeah,
the-
we've
that's
never
the
left
issue.
the
But I mean,
country.
Yeah,
See, that's
I've never been
crazy.
out of
Like
the
you've
country.
got like I feel like at some point in your life you have to make a point to do that because just seeing how even Canada works, let alone like Europe works, is so it's just so eye opening to see how like in Spain they have siestas in the middle of the day. They literally close up shop and they go take a nap. Like it's a completely different culture, and to be exposed to that at any point in life will blow your mind. And I honestly feel like with everything going on in the world, if people were just more exposed to other cultures and other people, we wouldn't have so much turmoil and crap going on.
I agree.
Oh,
Because
100%.
there's people that have, I'm not saying like everyone is the problem who's never left the country, but there's people that have never left the country who don't know what like someone in Africa looks like or what a struggle looks like, or even like how something like healthcare for everyone in Canada, for example, feels like. And just seeing it as a different vibe and like being like, oh, this illusion I had of people in X, Y, and Z place, it's not really true. They're just like me. They're humans.
The problem is the illusion that this country is created for everyone. That's made them stay set in this kind of bubble to not want to go adventure out.
Yeah, which is crazy because it's like this country literally has been made for everyone, and everyone that comes here that's not from here, born and raised here, I think appreciates in a really twisted way, appreciates what America has to offer more than true Americans. Not all of them. Like I'm not generalizing, but in a way, like there's certain people who don't appreciate the value of true freedom. Like I can't sit on this podcast in Iran and speak my mind.
Right.
Yeah,
I can't.
that's
I
true.
will be thrown in jail. And guess what? They can just be like, because we feel like it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, Iran,
Yep.
Russia, North Korea. Yeah.
People don't understand. Like this is freedom. Like we're sitting here, two girls with a bunch of dudes. Like none of us are married. Like that's, first of all, that's illegal.
Yeah.
In any like some other countries. And then it's like we're just speaking our mind. We're cussing. We're like we're drinking. We're talking about music. You can't listen to music. You know, it's crazy.
Yeah. I agree.
And you're saying that's for everyone, not just people in the US, like who are in this country, like stuck here, kind of like how Carter and I just haven't gone outside. And you're saying that, would you say the same applies to people in other countries that have not left?
Well, a lot of other countries, I don't want to like intrude. I just know other countries implore the idea of traveling.
Yeah.
You know, it's in their education system. Like it is required of you to go spend a year or two in a different country.
And they also encourage furlough. Like they encourage vacation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, to be fair, America is vast. It's massive. So getting outside, like if you're just in the middle of the country trying to get out, it costs money. It takes time. It's not as easy as like being in London and deciding to take a 2-hour train ride to Paris.
Sure. Yeah.
You know?
Right.
But so I feel like in a way it's easier to get out in other places. But like you said, it's more encouraged in other countries, I feel.
Yeah.
And I think it makes a difference for sure.
Oh, it
I
makes a
honestly feel like
huge
doing my
difference.
job is like just you learn tolerance in a way, just
Totally.
innately.
Yeah, I agree. For sure.
And you kind of like, for what you guys do, I feel like you have to be tolerant to begin with. Like that's a prerequisite.
I feel like that should be a prerequisite for
For
any
anything,
position.
yeah.
Just ethically, you need to be culturally competent. And that's not a thing.
Pia's
Don't walk
weird.
in.
Pia's
Don't walk in
wince-
blind.
Pia's
Yeah.
wincing with
Yeah.
disagreement in the corner.
Because I wasn't like that. I wasn't tolerant. I wasn't, patient.
But you weren't single-minded at the same time.
No, I definitely wasn't, but I think that you also just like adapt. Like you have to be like in our careers and in the industry that we work in, I think you have to be adaptable and like literally at a snap of a finger. Like you can't be set in your ways. I don't know if you like agree or disagree. I think
Like
that you have
muscle memory defense kind of ordeal, where it's just like your survival instincts
just
like kick
every
in,
like
or-
everything. Like you have to just be open and you have to be accepting and you have to really be like smart. Like you can't be like ignorant in our industry. Like you have to. That's why I feel like you can't be set. Like you can't be set in your like you can have moral like
Yeah.
you can have like your moral compass can be set in your way.
I feel like
but,
you'll be tested in this industry
you'll
with
be
that.
Yeah.
Like a
tested.
motherfucker.
So you can't like pop off. Like it doesn't work that way.
Right.
Like you got to be really like content and like put together. And if you feel a type of way, you can express it, but you have to be very politically correct. And if you
Because it could cost you your job.
it could 1000% cost
Or
you your
career
job.
or whatever,
I mean,
you
you can
know?
even see it like with celebrities. Like if a celebrity says something like sideways,
some foul
foul shit,
or
and
like,
it's something that they believe in. Oh, they're done.
they'll
Their
bash.
their
They'll-
career's
just,
done.
Just even they'll just discredit you.
Yeah.
Like
Somehow Cat Williams is somewhere on his like sixth life right now off of shit.
Yeah, no,
I don't
totally.
know how he's even still in the
Yo,
limelight.
but
I
Cat
love
Williams,
that.
what is it? Pimp Chronicles 2, where he's wearing that green
He's one of the
suit.
greatest
Some of the
comedians
funniest
of
thing
our
I've ever
generation,
seen
I
him.
think,
I
but-
still to this day quote that.
Yeah, he's like honestly the best, but
Oh.
he needs to sit
Or
down.
like when Cat Williams was in front of the private jet with the fur coat on, calling
Yeah.
Kevin Hart out, being like,
I didn't
let's
see
run this,
that.
motherfucker. Like,
I
hey,
need, yeah, like
God.
his publicist needs to get fired, or
Oh my
like
God.
they need to have a conversation, or something needs to happen.
I feel like he just doesn't give a shit about his publicist.
He doesn't.
I don't
He's
think he
just like,
doesn't
I'm just
either.
gonna do whatever the
Yeah.
hell I want.
But then the publicist isn't. No offense to the publicist, but
they're not doing their job.
they're not doing their job. Like
Yeah.
you're not there to like tell your client like what to say and how to say it, but you're there to navigate them and be like, listen, like maybe this approach isn't the best way. Let's find another approach.
You're like
Right.
the insular bodyguard.
Yeah,
for
like let
shit.
you gotta
Yeah.
be you have to like check in on your client like all the time. You have to
Mhm.
mentally and physically check in on your client all the time to make sure that they're not like they're not like sitting there okay, this is a stretch, but celebrities who have taken their own lives, I'm a firm believer that their publicist knew that they were suicidal.
Really?
Yeah,
Mm.
I'm
I
a
think some. I
I'm
think
a
sometimes
firm believer in
because
that.
like I
To a
think
degree.
I always go back to like say Justin Bieber or
Mhm.
child stars especially
Uh-huh.
where people are sort of letting them rock like that, like Macaulay Culkin, like whoever, they're sort of
Totally.
Amanda Bynes, they're letting them rock like that for so long
When-
until it's so far gone and they lost their whole
Yeah.
career. And those are cases where I feel like the PR or publicist didn't really care about the artist on an emotional.
But not just the PR, it's a team.
But it's honestly, it's really hard to say. Being on the management end of it and like working with artists and in it create like being around them when they're being creative, it's really hard to say so and so knew it was gonna happen. Or,
Not that they knew, but you have to think that if you've worked long enough with the person that you're working
Like the
with,
telltale signs where it's
you
like this
could
is
think-
Right,
you'll be like,
right,
oh,
yeah.
I see it
Like,
now.
you know what?
Whether or not you do something about it is not up for
Creativity
discussion.
is
It's
such
just
a-
knowing.
creativity is such a weird beast.
Totally.
And like especially, I mean, I can really only speak in the terms of music because that's most of what I know, at least firsthand. And it's like, we're lucky we sit here, we consume all this music and be like, damn, this song makes me feel this way, or like I love this and I love that. And you don't realize like you're singing because this song, like someone singing about their heartache and you
Yeah.
relate and whatever, but that person is literally in pain, in tears, like heart-wrenching, gut-wrenching, whatever, in the studio and like laying their heart out on the line, and all we do is like listen and consume it,
Right.
but they're like literally in it.
Especially every time
Yeah,
they
well, it's
sing
like-
it.
There's
and, like,
people that
Yeah.
literally, people like musicians that I know, wake up in the middle of the night like, oh my god, I have a song idea, and they write it down like
Yeah.
they're possessed by something. It's really hard, I think, when it comes to that field and in my experience, to be like, well, someone knew, because someone could be teetering on the edge
yeah.
Mhm.
and then like figure it out, and they teeter on the edge every night and it's whatever. But then there's some people, like
That you just don't know.
they just don't know. And I honestly, a lot of them I don't think mean to like
Right.
pass away. Like they might end up ODing, but I don't think it's because they wanted to. I think it just happened.
I think I agree. I
And
think most
I
of the time
think
they're not.
creativity is just this beast. And if you think about it, it's such a weird pressure to have on you, because everyone will come up to an artist and be like, you wrote my favorite song. It means
Mhm.
everything to me. And like I used to manage a band like way back in the day. And the lead singer was like, look, every time I sing this song, it puts me in that place when I wrote it. And I wasn't in a good place when I did that. So I hate performing this song.
Right.
But then you think of the demand if that band were to go on tour and every fan is like, how are you not going to sing my favorite song? I paid money for these tickets. Like it's a crazy, demanding, insane world.
Yeah.
And I think
leaves
some
them
people
prone to just feeling, vulnerable, having to.
Yeah.
The hard thing too is a lot of whatever the medium is for the creativity, whether it be music, painting, etc. There's an attachment with that misery. They thrive off it. That's their way of getting themselves out there and gauging their poeticism. But it's like, imagine you have to wake up and eviscerate yourself to pour out your deepest feelings, and then hope to God someone accepts it. Yeah. And then those days when it doesn't work out, it's not the fact that you're feeling like shit. It's the fact that you have to feel like shit in order to do something.
Well, and not to mention anybody that's in tune with their own emotions on that level, the smallest thing could trigger them back to that,
that state of mind,
those depths of sorrow, and then figure it out from there. I mean, I wouldn't even necessarily just blame the teams on a professional level. I also blame like what Scott Storch used to say about entourages.
Oh yeah.
He's like, when I was doing the Hitmaker and the Hit Factory in Miami, doing every hit in the early 2000s, it's like there were a lot of dudes I bought Bentleys for that the minute I wanted to get sober and I almost died off coke, they weren't around anymore.
Yeah,
and they
Mike Tyson said in an interview
that was genius. This Spike Lee thing.
No.
My bad.
No. It was Jamie Foxx said on an interview because he was like portraying Mike Tyson in a movie. He said Mike Tyson told him a story where his entourage would fight over who would take his dry cleaning. And it was because Mike Tyson would forget that he had $67,000 in his jacket. So his entourage would fight to take a piece of clothing to the dry cleaning just to take that $67,000.
Man,
not real friends.
It was like the craziest thing I'd ever heard.
That's why I have mad respect for like Drake right now. I mean, granted, you don't know what's going on behind the scenes
Drake.
always. Yeah.
I feel like so many. Listen,
Drake.
Look,
I think
I'm
he's
riding with you.
underrated in a sense.
As fuck, right? All right.
Hold on. Explain to me why this.
Oh, we getting into this. I'll debate this all night.
Tell me why the biggest superstar musician in the world is underrated.
He is the closest thing to Michael Jackson that we have for our generation.
Are you retarded?
I don't know if I would make that.
Are you retarded?
No, I'm not talking about in terms of dancing and
dancing. Is that really what you're comparing Michael Jackson to?
I'm talking about the numbers he's putting up and how many hits that dude has had. And
Let me tell you something about Drake. I think he is so smart because
I just want to make it clear that that's Sally speaking and I'm Pia. So let's just put that out there. Cool.
What are you afraid to say?
No. I want everyone to know that you are the one that's going for Drake.
Sally is saying.
Okay, good.
That Drake can put out, right? A song like
he puts out
Energy.
I was about to say.
Apparently.
Okay, well, I don't know him on that level, okay, because I don't find him attractive. I just like his music.
Oh shit. Okay.
Sorry, I'm just gonna make that very clear.
That's fine.
Why is that shady?
No, I was talking on Pia's part.
Oh yeah, shade for
She giving you the side eye like a motherfucker.
Shame.
Yeah. Shame. Anyway, he can put out a song like Energy, and then he can put out Best I Ever Had.
Yeah.
Right. So. You can talk about ghostwriters, you can whatever. I don't really care. The point is the man comes out with these songs. You can
I don't
have
blame
a
him for
hotline
quitting.
bling, you can come out with passion fruit, you can whatever. Then you can drop a double album where one of them plays to all the girls that are like, oh my God, I love Best I Ever Had. And then you can also play wow, okay, what do you want to say?
Nothing.
I'm just saying that he can
No,
go
you're good.
hard,
You're good.
Or
you're
he
good.
can like croon and make girls like freak out. So
Totally.
really he appeals to the men. He appeals to the females. And he also charts like no one else.
I totally agree with you.
And that's where the Michael Jackson thing came into
I
me.
don't agree with that.
No, I'm just saying, look, he's having an impact on the teenage generation, like that are maybe 6 years younger than us right now, that see him as that. Next
Dude,
to
we got
your
people
K-pop,
that look at
next to
Lil
your
Xan as a
K-pop
god,
level shit.
and he just went to the hospital.
We're gonna get into K-pop in a little bit too.
Hold on, don't fuck with me.
No, because BTS is a whole other level, and I don't want to even go there yet.
We'll
I didn't know
fucking
if that was
kick
off the
you
table
out
here
of
tonight.
my apartment if you fucking talk shit about BTS. I will literally kick you out.
I have some questions for you.
Yeah,
We
I
could-
like your questions.
Yeah,
Segue.
yeah, let's do it.
You should ask.
Oh wait, so
Well,
what's the segue? What are we doing?
No, so the segue is going into K-pop, and this also ties into like who I love. No,
Tables
this
have
ties into who
turned.
I love, like J Balvin and like with the
I
reggaeton and
think it
dancehall
ties-
stuff
yeah,
going on,
I think it ties into so many.
which Drake
others.
also is bodied.
J Balvin.
Just saying.
Let's
But
collaborate.
Sí, se puede. Going with Nicky Jam, just like Sally, Nicky Jam, and J Balvin on some shit.
Don't mess with me. I have a
Oh my
mixtape.
God.
It's coming out.
It's Dylan, 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 and Dylan. Hearing this all day on the
I need a
mixtape.
producer. Elijah Gray, where you at?
Oh, you brought him up.
He won't hear it.
Okay,
But
continuing.
Here's
Segue.
my thought on it's interesting with the K-pop thing, and I love how, speaking of diversity and worldly cultures and being well traveled,
Fuck yeah.
how not only maybe LA does have a Korean population that could fill the Staples Center, but to do what they've done at every arena in the States alone,
Thank you.
when people don't understand
Thank
what they're
you.
saying is
Thank
nuts.
you. Thank you. In
And I have a hot
fucking
take.
America, their like lyrics are 90% Korean, and these American like tweeny girls are like screaming at the top of their lungs and singing these Korean lyrics that they probably don't even know the fucking meaning to.
Yeah.
I'm included in that.
Yeah.
Like I'm
You for sure translated shit on Google Translate.
1000%. But yeah, but like when not every song and not like every
Yeah.
meaning or like, you know,
True.
I don't remember the meaning of
meanings
the.
of those
Yeah, I don't
lyrics,
remember
yeah.
that. But like this like thing called K-pop is like taking over my life, and now I understand why it's taking over everyone else's.
Well, here's the thought I had though.
By the
Just-
way, just like side note, did anyone here see the UN thing with BTS?
I did because you
Wait,
sent it to me.
Thank you.
Wait, what was it?
We'll
now?
get to it. We'll get to it. Keep going.
Okay. All right. Hold that. No, because here's the thought I had, which it sets a dangerous precedent. I feel like when a worldly genre takes off as fast as K-pop has, because we saw it with grime, right? With Skepta.
Oh, yes. Okay.
So remember when that like popped off for like a year straight in the States and everybody was going crazy over grime?
Yes.
Which was pretty much based around Skepta's family. Because it's
Okay.
like
Yeah.
Jamie, Skepta, Juliet Anuga, who's super versatile with, her music selection for beats anyway. But I feel like it's a dangerous precedent. And same with reggaeton. Same thing happened with EDM, which is mostly a European and like outside of America thing. And
Okay.
then
I'm
America.
I'm just waiting for you to mention Despacito.
Yeah. And then you had Justin Bieber. I can't sing. And I guess
fix that in post, right?
it's a dangerous auto-tune. I might actually do that to be funny, but no, I think it's a dangerous precedent when something gets so big so fast, it has a firecracker effect. And then it gets used up and sort of balled up and tossed out of America again. And then it'll still sell everywhere else. You have MC Hammer selling out in France,
Yeah.
So it's just I want to see them thrive and succeed. But like what we've talked about too, I'm worried about like everything you hear about the Korean pop music industry, and dealing with their artists where they push them literally to the brink of exhaustion.
Well,
Yeah, nobody cares.
They're born
Damn,
in
savage.
Nobody cares.
We were just talking about artist feelings and shit.
Nobody gives a fuck.
The money too.
No, but it's $1 billion industry.
Have you seen Aaron Carter lately?
Oh my god.
Yes,
Do not
he
get me
used
started
to-
on the Carters.
Okay.
Nothing. Yes, I've
but
seen
that was a
Aaron
long
Carter.
time ago. First of all, about the Carters. Shout out. Hey,
Which
what's
Carters?
Up? What up,
Yeah.
Nick? What up? Just kidding.
The
They
ones
had a
sitting next
really
to
The
you.
messed
ones
up-
that are
they had
famous,
a-
not
they
me.
come- look, first of all, they're from Florida. I could stop there. However, they have a really messed up family. Whatever. He was a child star. Where his parents tried to take advantage of him. That whole story. So it's like I feel like you can't. Like that's just one. You okay there, Pia? She's yawning.
Sorry.
guys.
The
Rude.
Carters make me yawn.
What were you gonna say about Aaron in relation to all this?
Yes.
stuff?
That's what I'm confused about. What were you gonna
I'm
say?
saying how like you can get so big so fast and it drives you to this exhaustion of, Aaron Carter looks like worse for wear, whereas Nick Carter has made this brilliant comeback with the Backstreet Boys and their new music video looks fire.
They were never gone. First of all.
Yes, they
Let's
were.
be fucking
Yeah,
real.
yes, they were.
Yo,
Yes,
you
they
want me to
Okay,
drop
okay,
some
okay,
knowledge
hold
on
on,
you?
hold on, 1 second.
All right.
Okay, what K-pop is to Pia is what Backstreet Boys is to Sally.
Oh, okay.
Now continue the
gonna get
conversation.
stabbed.
Hold on. Let me
You
just.
will.
Let me. No. I won't. I'm not as violent as
She will-
Pia is.
Okay.
It started in
True.
1993. Okay.
Wow.
They got famous. Listen, straight up. I grew up in Iran and Canada, so I was listening to them on cassettes back in 93, 94.
Word.
That they were big in Europe and Canada, everywhere outside of America until 1996. 1997.
Oh, so they were popping for 3 years before that?
Yes. So there's
Okay.
they have a documentary called "Show 'Em What You're Made Of." I have it on DVD. If anyone still has a DVD player.
She has the
Yeah.
VHS too.
Anyway,
guaranteed
but I was also
somewhere.
around. Like they honestly shaped my entire life. More than half of what I've ever done decision wise as a kid was because of the Backstreet Boys.
Oh
so
my
it's
God.
the
I thought
weird.
you meant now. I'm like,
No,
yo,
really,
somebody
so
call.
bad.
Honestly,
He's like, had I known, we wouldn't
I'm not
have
going to give
Oh
them
my
all the
God.
credit. However, if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't have moved from Florida to LA. If I never moved from Florida to LA, I wouldn't be where
Those
I am
are really
today.
big
Like,
decisions.
they are. They are. But honestly, like
They shaped it.
they really did. Ask anyone in my entire life that knows me. They understand.
All right.
But
Okay.
the thing is, they, even in their documentary, if you watch it, all 5 of them, they were very, very young when stuff like this happened. And they had this guy, Lou Pearlman, who found them and did all this stuff. And honestly, they didn't talk about this in the documentary, but it sounded borderline shady. Like they're like, he was like our dad, but, and then they didn't say anything. And I'm like, oh, what happened? What happened?
Oh, so
But-
Lou Pearlman's a nasty man?
Oh yeah, he's dead. He went to jail because he had this massive Ponzi scheme. He was not a good person. He also created NSYNC to literally create
Counter.
competition
Yeah.
for the Backstreet
Yeah,
for
Boys.
sure.
And it's like, imagine being a 15-year-old or like a 17-year-old even, and then you being on top of the world and someone's like, oh, guess what? Now you're competing with
Yeah.
It was this whole thing. But anyway, the Backstreet Boys did everything that they did. Millennium. I Want It That Way is the best pop song of all time. Fight me. I will fight you right back.
No, it's
They
up there.
are the
Okay.
best-selling boy band of all time. Factual.
Over in sync.
Factual?
Over
NSYNC,
NSYNC, over
BTS.
Jackson 5, over BTS, all of them. Because
Wow.
also when they were selling records back in 99, 2000, people were buying them.
Mhm.
But even with inflation, they're still the best-selling boy band of all
Well,
time.
they also came up in like the highest peak of record
Absolutely.
sales ever with
Right,
CDs.
right.
So
But they're to this day, it's still the best-selling boy band of all time. So
Okay, whatever.
So did you
Moving
pop
on.
off
over
in,
Beatles?
over everyone. If you count boy band,
I
New
don't
Kids on the
know-
Block,
I don't
Menudo,
know
look
where
them up,
she's getting
look 'em
her
up the number.
facts from,
Look up
but
the
we're just gonna
numbers.
nod our heads.
Look them up right now.
Does Beatles
I
count
don't
as
want
a
to
boy
waste time
band?
Googling, but I am going to Google this later right
I know.
now.
Just
you
actually,
should.
that's a very good question,
Um,
Jken. Does Beatles count as a boy
honestly-
band?
I mean,
That's
it's a
just a
band
band.
of boys playing
Yeah.
That's a
music.
band.
It's the same
Yeah,
thing.
but it's
I
not. They
think
they
the
never
Beatles-
dance.
It's
I
not,
think
it's not a boy band.
It's not a
I was
boy
just being
band.
But I
cheeky.
think the Beatles created Pandemonium. Like
Yes, yes, yes.
Oh,
girls
I agree.
freaking out over
Sure.
a band,
Good
hands
point.
down the Beatles.
Yes.
Good point.
So did you pop off in This Is the End?
What is?
No, because let me tell you what. Here's the whole moral of the story.
Dude, I popped off when they brought up
Pause.
Backstreet
Did you
Boys at the
pop
end
off?
of that movie. I was like, yo.
Here's the moral of the
Shame,
story,
shame.
right? The Backstreet Boys are recording their 9th album right now. 10th. I'm sorry. They have 9 out. They've been around this whole time. The thing is, for a long time, I don't know if you remember, 3 years prior to now, boy bands weren't cool. So nobody was talking about the Backstreet Boys.
Well, they weren't cool in America.
No, they weren't even really cool around the world. Like
What
they
about
toured,
K-pop?
they did
K-pop's
stuff.
been around for a while.
Yeah, but
Thank
I'm
you.
specifically talking about the Backstreet
Thank
Boys.
you.
And like as far as their relevancy goes, everyone's like into nostalgia right now and the 90s and all that stuff.
Retro's in.
They've
Right.
had an
Right.
album every couple of years. They had an album in 2009, 2011, 2014. They did 2 world tours. 2014, I went to both of them.
Are they still signed?
Yes, they
I believe that. I
absolutely
for sure
are.
believe that.
They
Yeah.
have the most actually I don't know how accurate this is, but when they were doing their Vegas show and they're coming back October, November, it was the highest selling Vegas residency.
No.
No, when they were doing it, just this last
Does
one, they
Jerry
got all the awards
Seinfeld
and
count?
stuff.
No.
No,
No,
of
I
course
know.
not.
No.
Yeah, yeah, 100%.
No, I think it was like It was like Britney Spears or J Lo, like one of those
honey,
two.
they're in the same. First
Damn,
of all,
they all
they
outsold
all
Celine
did
Dion because
Zappos.
she was there for mad years.
She's just ending now, and I
Oh,
just
really?
heard. Yeah, for
Oh,
the
okay.
first time. No. The thing is, as far as like
What happened to
selling
Celine?
out every single
no, she's
night,
just been in
yeah.
Vegas
came
for like
on, it was
15
them.
years.
Oh.
Because
It's-
in the same
it's
theater,
time.
what no one realizes is it's J Lo, Backstreet Boys, Gwen Stefani, all at Zappos.
Gwen
and Planet
Stefani. I
Hollywood.
love you, girl.
She's amazing.
She's
really?
incredible.
Yeah.
Oh, she's phenomenal.
Anyway, moral of the story is they've been around this whole
Mhm.
time. People just give a shit now, and they came back with "Don't Go Breaking My Heart."
It's a good
They've-
song.
They've been around this whole damn time. They've been around.
I mean, I like them.
I didn't know that.
I'm not like
Yeah,
crazy
they've
about
been
them. But
around.
with
I feel
Sally-
like that's what scares me about music in America, though. There's like this lifespan, and it's a very short
is.
one, and it constantly
That's what I'm saying.
fluctuates, and it
Look
puts
at
them
the
in a shit position as
Spotify. Look at the
artists.
Spotify top 100.
It's
Even,
crazy.
right? If you're not in the Cardi B, Drake, Lil Pump lane,
Mm.
you're
Ugh.
maybe on there. If you're Ariana Grande, maybe.
Well,
Good luck.
music's a lot. it's good because genres are more melded together than ever, which is I think makes for great music because now the clubs aren't segregated anymore. Raves have rap acts on them, vice versa. Marshmello will do a show with Logic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think that's really cool. But also when you think of the early 2000s and the 90s, everybody had their own sound, and K-Rock was still avidly listened to, with Stryker doing the...
Oh, man. Yeah, dude.
And then you also had Kiss FM with Rick Dees and shit. And then you had...
Yo, I just talked to someone about Rick Dees the other day.
I thought you were about to say you just talked to Rick Dees.
Yeah.
I was
I
like,
wish I was waiting for.
I remember the morning that they were like, oh, it's Rick Dees' last day. And my entire life exploded. I'm like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
And to this day, there's no reason. And I just met someone who works radio. And I was like, I said Rick Dees, and he's like, wow, I'm surprised you know what that is. I'm like, yo, that was my entire life growing up. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
And he goes, and I was like, they phased him out or something. I don't know what happened. Like one morning I woke up and he wasn't there anymore. And he's like,
I felt like he made it too.
No, they
Like-
said,
Hey, Rick.
they said,
Hey, Rick, meet Ryan.
yeah. But Ellen K stayed on. I don't know. They were just one morning, they were like, Rick Dees is out. And I was like, my life is changing. And they're like, you know what? You got too old.
Didn't he go onto another
you-
station though?
He did. They tried it. It didn't work.
Yeah.
That was like
okay.
the dude.
Unfortunately. I
what's-
loved Rick Dees.
What's his name? Carson Daly made a great comeback though, because he was like he
Late-
got
late
snuffed
Yeah.
for after like
TRL.
doing
TRL.
TRL. Yeah,
Yeah.
thank
Mhm.
you.
Did Big Boy get kicked off Power 1?
No, he
No,
went-
he left.
He took the
He
bag.
Yeah,
got
he
the
took the
bag.
bag. Yeah,
For
he got
sure, for
that.
sure.
That station was gonna
I
offer
love
him
Big
way
Boy.
more
Shout
money.
out.
I really like him too.
Can I just
Actually,
say
on that
I
show.
hate how West Coast radio, specifically rap radio, compared to East Coast,
I hate West Coast radio.
compared like even their interviews and shows, I hate
so
how they
different.
do it.
Yep, I
compared to
agree.
like Breakfast Club and Hot 97.
Yep. I agree. I
But
like.
also
I've
shout
always
out to
listened-
Sirius XM too, because they
Yeah.
have the real shows that you'd want to listen to as a music fan.
Sway still kills it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I've always just like gravitated towards East Coast radio, like Hot 97
Is
and
it because
Breakfast
you're
Club.
an East Coast girl?
Probably. That's what like I grew up on
Biased
Breakfast.
bitch. How many
Club.
times have I told you feel like a New Yorker when we spoke?
1000%.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, totally. I like love Hot 97, like when Angie Martinez left what's it called, Hot 97, and like went to breakfast or went to
92 real.
no. She went to
She went to Charlemagne's clique
Yes,
on that
yes,
side.
yes, yes.
Power.
yes.
Yeah, she went to Power.
That like it changed like how you felt, like that like changed my life. I was like, what the fuck is she doing?
Yep.
And I mean, I've always just loved like East Coast radio. It's just more grittier, like it's different, like it's not like it. Like I feel like it's very sassy on the West Coast. It's very like I don't like that.
Here it's
I don't
very
like that.
here it's very regulated. I actually like Hollywood Unlocked and what they do though.
I love Hollywood Unlocked, but I also think that they are a little like.
Shock jockey.
Yeah, like it's a
Mm.
little too much. Like when you look at the interviews with Hot 97 and Power or Breakfast Club, like it's very like straight to the question, straight to the core. It's not like they don't try to get like that shock value. It's very
Mhm.
much like, let's talk about your music. Let's talk about your album. Let's talk about why you did this and why you did that. It's not like, oh well, you fucked this person last night. Like how'd that go?
I
Like, it's
feel
not
you.
like
I
that.
feel awful. I haven't listened to the radio in like 10 years.
Yeah,
But you know, I
can't
don't
say
even
I've
fucking
listened
listen to the
I
radio.
No,
try
watch
to
on
YouTube.
listen to the radio. I really try, and then every time I try, it's like commercial.
Yeah, no, I watch it on YouTube.
Dumb skit. Who? Ryan's Roses. I'm
Hey,
like,
Ryan, oh my
dude.
God.
And now
Am I the only person that gets severely uncomfortable with something
agree.
like Ryan's Roses?
Oh man,
I'm like,
100%
that
I agree
is
with you.
just-
I get anxiety.
What-
I'm like,
what
oh
is
my
Ryan's
God.
Roses?
Oh my God.
You don't even want to
is
know.
that
It's
like the
just-
new love line?
Which,
I don't know
which,
if
It's
that's-
by the
old.
way,
It's
how
old.
do you not know?
How do you
at
not know that
point
this
when
person-
Someone
yes.
calls you like asking for free roses. Like, how do you? What do you live under a rock? Right. So he calls people, and his assistant person is like, "Hey, we just opened up. We're a flower shop in your neighborhood, and we're giving you a dozen roses. You can send it to anyone you want." And then they say like so and so name, and it's like never the girlfriend or the wife. And then the wife is on the line, or the girlfriend's on the wife. I'm like, "Oh, who's Cindy?" And you're like,
So
"What?
stupid.
Why did you send
So
the
bad.
roses?"
It's like
So
porno
bad.
acting.
Yeah.
Also,
literally.
I
Crazy.
so don't understand cheating nowadays. I just don't get it. I never understood the concept of cheating. Like, if you're gonna cheat, Just don't be in
Just
a
break up with them.
relationship. I don't get it. I
Mhm.
don't understand. But yet it still happens. And then Ryan Roses is still there. So I'm like,
There's so many extraneous variables that come into
There's
play when it
so
comes to
many.
couples counseling or anything related with couples. Like you can't just.
Well, let's go then.
But
All
I
right.
just
So
don't.
now
I
we're
just
here.
don't see the point of it. Like I agree with Sally. Like,
Oh no,
dude, just
I'm
fucking
not.
break
I'm
up.
not disagreeing.
and
It's
then,
completely
fuck
fucked.
it, like-
It's just.
Okay, well, I'm gonna be the devil's advocate.
Wow,
what
let's
if
hear
you
it.
just like? What if it was like
Just
a
the tip?
mistake?
What?
No.
Like-
What if Pia's like,
Is it just the
what
ass?
if
Are we
it
just
was a
eating
mistake?
it, or
What
is
if
it,
you
does
were-
that count?
What
Like,
if you were young and you were naive and it was a mistake and when you were drunk or like?
Well, no,
you know,
there's
Okay,
a-
you
being
can't-
drunk is not
there's
an
a
excuse.
there's an
facts.
age.
thank you.
Okay.
There's an
I don't
age.
kill someone and be like, I was
Oh,
drunk
you're gonna
though.
okay, but
Like,
you're gonna
it
compare
doesn't
cheating
count.
to killing. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
you're
ve-
killing someone's heart.
Oh,
Pia.
shut the fuck up!
No,
Like,
there-
that is so stupid.
There's a-
Clearly, you can tell
Why
the
are you
emotional one
hurting
in this
her?
relationship.
No, but there's an age of maturity, a threshold of maturity where there's an age. I like to say 20.
Yes,
when
I
you-
agree.
When you can't get it, like
I agree.
when
You
you're
should
not
be
dirt
making
At
the
this
same
age,
fuck ups.
I agree.
like-
At this
we have
age, if I'm
relationships
if
at 20?
I'm if
Well, we
I'm
know that's not the
You
case.
like to think
right?
you were in a
I wouldn't have a
relationship at
job
20.
if that
Was
was
it?
the case.
I wish.
yeah, no, totally. I think that it's at a certain age, then it's like
relationship
cheating is like
Yeah.
not okay. But like when
It's
you're young and
happens
you're
all
like,
the time, whether you're 40s, 50s,
Oh
60s.
no, that it's. Not, I think the biggest part is boredom.
well, that's a business arrangement.
Yeah.
Oh my
Or-
God,
or
are we back to boredom?
or
Play a fucking
comfortability.
board game, guys.
Comfortability. A lot of people get too comfortable.
Get some VR in your life.
okay.
And it's
I
that.
don't
Check
know.
out what I got.
I just feel
Oculus
like-
Rift.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I feel like when someone else's heart, life, whatever is on the line, like it's like probably the most selfish thing you can do is to
Yeah.
just indulge. And I don't care how high you are, how
100%.
drunk you are, how whatever you are. It's like there's got to be some moral ground where you can be like, you know what? If I make this decision to make out with this person or
Yeah.
even like
Yeah.
But I have
kiss
a
them on the
question:
lips
isn't
or
it going to
whatever.
hurt them just as much if you break up with them?
Well, at least at that point, you weren't like,
You're not
hey,
going
I
behind
made
their
out with
back.
someone else while
Well, no.
I pretended like I was with you to do that.
I think
So-
a good point is I'm not trying to defend. I'm just trying to have like a neutral position.
Sure.
A lot of
Same,
people
right.
that cheat
Same.
are hurting themselves. There are issues that they haven't dealt with, and some have unconsciously done it
Yeah.
to self-sabotage.
That's true. That's
It
true.
takes two to tango regardless.
Totally.
So something was happening within the couple, whomever is the cheater or the cheatee. It's just, you can't easily put it as, oh, they're fucked
I
up.
agree.
You know, it's,
Yeah.
it's
Totally.
You can't,
But
it's
there
like
are
defining-
innocent hearts that get broken, especially
Yeah.
like if a guy cheats on his girl with another
Or
girl and
girls
never
cheat
tells
on
her.
girls
Or
cheat
girls
too.
cheat
I
on guys,
mean-
but and the third party who has no knowledge.
Yeah.
You
Absolutely.
know, like they're getting hurt too. Like,
Don't know what's happening
ultimately.
behind closed doors. You can't. It just you can't.
You can't
easily
just point your
define
finger.
something.
Yes,
you
I
gotta
agree with you.
you gotta look
Oh,
at
no.
it and
I
sit
agree with
down
you.
and be like,
Totally.
something's going on.
Totally.
There's a reason why this happened. It just didn't.
Oh
just-
no, for sure. I'm just saying, like, for the person outside of it who's like, oh, I just met this really great guy. We've been hooking up for like a year, and he's had a wife and kids. You know, like that. That's
yeah,
that
terrible.
sucks
Yeah.
for that person who
True.
didn't know. They're getting hurt.
Yeah.
You know, they're coming in
Why
with
are you
all the chips on the
Well, the-
table who haven't done anything wrong.
Those are the scenarios where it becomes a business arrangement and it's just lost in the sauce and it's all fucked up.
Pia's
Ugh,
over here
don't get kids
dying,
involved,
and I'm
people.
like, dude,
PSA.
Pia.
Just
I'm so
don't
sorry.
get kids involved.
This is really bad.
That's-
Pia,
why
Pia
is it
smokes her
bad?
own brand of weed and gets crazy.
No, I swear to God. No, it's not funny. It's not.
Yeah, she's laughing.
Okay,
it's
wait.
not funny. It's not funny.
All
I
right.
laugh when I get nervous.
Set. Pia's just dying over here. She's falling out. No, I mean, all right. So speaking of nostalgia,
Speaking of married men.
I thought it.
That's where I thought it was going. That's where I thought it was going.
I'm kidding. What? Continue.
She just like dropped a Maury bomb on this
No, I
table.
didn't.
It
No, I
was
didn't. No, I
a
didn't. No, I
Maury
didn't.
bomb.
No, I didn't. Okay, moving on. Let's next topic. What's on the agenda?
No, I thought of this the other day, nostalgically. What happened to the movie phone guy?
The who?
Wow.
No clue.
You don't
Who
remember?
the fuck is
I
the
mean,
movie
he
phone
didn't
guy?
do what the Verizon guy did and went to Sprint. That's what.
No,
Is this
no,
really
that
the
dude-
topic
oh,
that
that
we're
was-
talking about?
Look, I'm a
He got
very
the
loyal
bag.
person, and every time I watch one of those commercials, I
Fucking
cringe because
traitor.
I'm like, you know what, dude? First of all, Sprint is not better than Verizon. Let's all be real here.
They have
Secondly,
great unlimited data.
Sprint does, yeah, but
Yeah,
do you ever get
well,
service?
What's the point of having unlimited data if there's no
You have
service?
Sprint.
He has Sprint.
Wow.
He's the loser.
But see, I also have a
So it's not
BlackBerry.
race.
Still
It's
using
not
Sprint?
race anymore. This is what divides us.
I also
Dude,
have a
she still got the
BlackBerry,
Crackberry.
but the BlackBerry's on Verizon. I also have to have an iPhone.
You're sitting there with two phones.
I do have two phones. I got 2 phones.
Kevin Gay.
Yeah, there it is.
One's for her work and one's for her hose.
Yes, all the hoes. Just one.
The husbands out there.
I respect you with the BlackBerry though. That's for the business tip.
I'm so confused. Why is the BlackBerry like a thing?
It's so good.
Why
Kidding
not
me.
2 iPhones? Like
Okay,
why?
First of all, why the hell would you have 2 iPhones?
Yeah,
You
yeah,
have
seriously.
apps. The BlackBerry that I have happens to not have apps. The new BlackBerry, shout out BlackBerry, sponsor me, please. Thank
Me
you.
too,
I'm
me
the
too,
only
me too, me
person
too,
that
me too.
uses your product. BlackBerry Classic. It doesn't have apps. The privacy is amazing. I'm
Mhm.
never worried about this phone getting hacked. But honestly, if you were to press send on an email, I would immediately receive it within, like, you press send, I get it. It's faster. It doesn't have apps. It doesn't fuck around. And honestly, for me, it has a keyboard.
I would
The
prefer that
physical.
too.
The
You
physical,
like you
yeah.
like the physical.
I can talk to you in text, which isn't really a good thing anyway. But I just
There's not a ball on it, right?
no.
It's
it has
touch
a sensory
It's a
one,
trackpad.
Yeah,
but
it's a
the new
trackpad,
one is
yeah.
touch screen and keyboard.
and a keyboard.
They have to. But the thing is, the reason I don't have 2 iPhones is because that's excessive. Having 2 phones is excessive in general, but at least my BlackBerry has a keyboard. There's 2 different reasons. I want the new one, which is I think it's called the Key 2 or something like that. It has a keyboard, but it runs on Android.
Okay.
And it's like, if you're gonna have 2 phones, at least have 2 different operating systems.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah,
why
exactly.
Why don't you have everything on one phone though? That's what I'm curious about. Because you
Capitalism,
can
baby.
switch emails.
Nobody's
you can
gonna wanna do
switch all
that.
this stuff. Like,
To be 100% honest, I
Hillary
was
Clinton.
too stubborn. Okay, what's
Huh?
anything?
Cool.
Nothing to hide, really. I was too stubborn to get rid of my keyboard. And back in the day when I worked with someone else, they were like, you can't do your job without an iPhone. And I was like, well, I'm not going to do it with an iPhone. So they got me an iPhone. And I was like, well, fuck, now we're here. So I
Got
never
it.
got rid of my BlackBerry.
2 separate numbers.
2 separate numbers. One of, like, for example, one of them is in the signature of my email.
Mhm.
I'll pick up the number if I don't know what it is. If you call me on my iPhone and I don't know the number, I'm not going to
You're
pick
not
up.
answering.
Right.
I'm not
Got
going to
it.
pick
Got
up.
it. Got it. Got it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But one of them's a work phone. So I will answer all of them like, this is Sally.
Oh, I say that too. This is
This is
Pia.
Pia.
This is
Yeah.
Sally.
So
Yeah.
here's what I'm
This is
curious about.
Pia.
When you're in business mode, do you like? So what's your BBM?
You know what?
That's
Unfortunately,
wrong.
no one's on BBM anymore.
But they still
Even
have it
people that-
available.
they-
Yeah,
of course
does
they do.
BBM
They
exist?
Absolutely.
still have it though.
You know, I feel like more people are on WhatsApp. Even people are on BlackBerry because it's more universal. Even though BBM became an app for people,
Because BBM's
They did-
international.
they
Yeah.
did what MySpace did, right?
Mhm.
MySpace took too long to conform, and when they did, it was too late.
Right.
Mhm.
BlackBerry took too long to conform, and now it's way too late for BBM to be a thing. Everyone will walk around and be like, "I miss BBM," but no one's gonna download the app.
Well, I also feel like BlackBerry's R&D department was like trash when like iPhone was budding,
Right.
and then you had the brain trust of Steve Jobs, which was like a bullet train like heading for like a brick wall. So
It just took too long to figure it out. And same thing with MySpace and Facebook. I've done
Mhm.
so many reports on that stuff, and it's like they waited too long, and when they decided to change, all they did was add in what Facebook had already done. And it's like, why am I going to use MySpace for what I use Facebook for? And now
Right.
they're an archaic,
Mhm.
completely.
Dude, I'd be
It's
that
outdated.
I'd be that different person. Be like, oh yeah, my iPhone's for personal, but my sidekick is for work. Like,
Dude, if you
I
whipped out a
wish I still had a
sidekick,
sidekick.
yo,
You know, I'm just waiting for someone to whip out like the old Nokia brick and be like, "Hey, I got
Yeah.
like 3 different faceplates for this bitch. So I got a blue
Yes!
dragon
Or
and
like,
some
this is
blossom
my
flowers
razor.
phone, dude."
that's the
What-
burner phone.
Like, what mall did you go to get that back piece?
It was the old Santa Monica
old
Mall.
Santa Monica
No, I'm saying,
Mall,
I'm
dude.
saying
Yeah.
today.
No one knows what that is anymore. They had a Mongolian
Dude,
barbecue.
yeah,
Yeah,
it was the best Mongolian
It was
barbecue
the
ever.
best. It was the fucking best.
I have no idea what the fuck they're
Pia
talking
was in
about.
Virginia at the time.
I was.
Ooh.
Dude, all the cool kids were
Mongolian
fucking
beef.
at Santa Monica Mall.
It was really
No,
the best Mongolian
Fuck
on the
that.
planet.
The WB store was my like childhood.
Amazing.
Wow.
That was amazing. Yeah.
Looney Tunes everywhere,
Then
selling
you get
Bugs
older
Bunny merch.
and you migrate out of the mall. Where do you want to go? Just meet me at 3rd in Arizona.
Yes!
Like, kick it,
AMC,
by
let's
the
go.
AMC.
Yep.
Don't ask questions, just show up.
They always had payphones in front. And I didn't have a
That
cell
was where we
phone.
hung out as kids.
I would go be
Jesus.
so
Oh, yeah.
disrespectful and just sit all over those Brookstone massage chairs.
Oh, for sure,
Yeah.
for sure. I felt so cool. I had a pager at one point.
Well, you did.
Yes, I did. I had
Did you go to a
clear
payphone and call
green-
people back?
Yes, I did.
Wow.
Oh my
Who
God.
paged you at the time? Your parents? Like,
My-
where are you
my
at?
sister's
Where's my
parents. Yeah. My doctor's offices.
Urgent.
We're ready to take
911.
you now. Like, that's their number. Yeah, let me just whip it out in my little booklet with all my phone numbers in it.
While you're in
Wow.
IHOP having a happy face pancake.
Dude, I'm 31, okay?
Wait,
Like, I remember
IHOP
a
is
lot of
24
old
hours.
shit.
Is anyone hungry? Because chocolate chip pancakes sound
I'm down
amazing.
actually for some
I'd actually be
pancakes.
down after this.
Yeah,
Low key.
low key
That's
too.
not in my diet.
Oh my
I know. I need to
God.
be on a
I'm
diet
sure
too.
they have greens.
Vegetables.
Just give me a
They have
single
salad.
leaf of lettuce.
Ugh,
That's the salad.
Yours just a tiny
Salad
little
is
slab
not
of
a meal,
kale.
by the way. I know that's so un-LA of me, but like I can't eat a salad and be like, I'm full.
I can. I love salads.
Well, you just got to put more in your salad.
yeah,
then.
you just have to put like shrimp or
Throw
like
some poke in
chicken or
it.
like
Yeah.
steak.
cold. I get cold. I can't
Oh
do
my
that.
God.
If,
See, we're opposite.
Okay,
If
you
it's-
are from LA.
opposite.
Okay,
Lady-
you're
la-
from LA.
ladies and gentlemen, if it's a Thursday night in the future, you can find Pia at Soup Plantation cleaning.
Oh, God, dude,
Soup
soup
Plantation
Yeah.
Brentwood is where is that?
Yo, no, dude.
No,
That
I
place got
tried.
me
I tried
sick.
going back. They fell off, or I got too old. Somewhere in between.
Too
It's
old.
like when you go back to a Chuck E. Cheese and try that pizza. It's just like it was
Okay,
awful.
I feel like if you
Definitely-
ever have to go
no.
back to Chuck E. Cheese
Yeah,
for
yeah,
pizza,
I've never
you're
been-
going to wine pizza.
I've never been like, hey, I'm 25. I should really go back to Chuck E. Cheese. Last time I was there was 10. Like,
Those
maybe
an-
it's still good.
Those animatronic robots always freak the fuck out of me.
For sure. That's why they
I've
knock on
never
them so
been to a
much.
Chuck E. Cheese.
Post seeing the Goofy movie. Because you know when they go to the bar or whatever, or that kid's restaurant, and those
Yeah.
animatronic robots freak the
Yeah.
fuck out of Goofy's son.
Yeah, but they've
Is that a
literally
Goofy
done
movie or is
that
it a Goofy
in so
movie
many
too?
movies.
Because I watched both.
One only for that.
Wasn't
What
it
is
the
it?
one where he
I
went to
know how to-
college?
Wasn't Matthew or his
and
name
then-
Max? Was that his name?
Max. There we go. Yeah, I know
Yeah.
how to sing that whole fucking first song. I'm not gonna do it on here. Jken knows I know how to sing that shit.
I just don't want to hear you singing.
Yeah, I don't want to hear you singing either, please.
Wow,
No, I'm not
Pia,
gonna sing.
That's fucked up.
I don't mind your singing, but I just don't give a shit about the song.
That's all right.
Shut down.
Okay, yo. So what? I want to know what everybody here thinks.
No. I'm just kidding.
No, so Yandi
Who?
comes out on Saturday. Kanye's sequel to Yeezus.
Is this a shoe or an album? I'm
It's an
confused.
album.
Okay.
That's the
Okay.
best answer though.
He
Yeah,
does
I
so
don't know.
much now.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know. Okay.
He's so multi-talented.
I'm giving Kanye one last shot because Ye was trash, and the whole Good Music Summer thing, aside from Tiana Taylor's album and Daytona, was trash. Like I had such
What
a
did you, wait,
I
what
think
about,
he did a great job.
yeah, I was
to
going
be
to say,
honest
did you
with
just say
you.
with
Daytona
Kids
was,
See Ghosts and Ye and all that.
You know what? The fact that he put out as many projects as he did
This is Sally's
over the
wheelhouse.
summer- Don't drop the mic. You totally have something to add to that.
I
just,
Yeah.
you know,
I just
like
worry he's
it's-
just putting shit out to put shit out.
but it's good. Like Tiana Taylor's album was
That was good.
fantastic.
That was
But
good.
then Pusha T had some
Those two.
bangers on there. Kids See Ghosts.
Mm.
Listen, here's the thing.
That could've
It
been-
I will tell you right now.
Okay.
I was listening to it while I was working, and at one point, like 30 minutes in, I was like, I need to punch someone in the face so hard, and I don't understand why. And I realized it was making me psycho. So I was like, I can't do this at the same time. So I left it. I stopped playing it, thank God. And then I went back and I listened to it. And the thing with Kanye and the way that he makes art, if you will,
Mhm.
you need to literally just sit and listen to it. Hear what he's saying, hear what it sounds like, feel it, listen to it again and like really understand it, because in the weirdest way, it's so in depth and there's
Mhm.
so many levels to it
Mhm.
that I feel like you actually have to focus and spend time and give it attention. And that's why it's not a charting album, and that's why it's not Spotify top 10, because no one has an attention span nowadays. But if you
True.
take
It's
a
like
minute,
focus on
I
this.
just
And
I can't tell
listen
if that's
to
what he
Ye.
wanted to do.
That's what I
Kinda.
feel like.
I feel like the
I-
audience hearing your like, because every individual is going to hear a song differently.
Of course.
Yeah.
What
Sure,
if you're
yeah.
creating these layers and you don't even
Yeah.
know it, and it adds this intellect to it because it's coming from you as a listener, not the artist
Right.
themselves.
Right.
That's
Yeah,
what-
that's
that's
totally
what
what I was
trips
trying to
me
do.
out.
Totally what I was trying to do.
Okay, but here's my ideology on Kanye. I think now he's trying to get back to the place he was to fix his own, mental stuff going on, and a darker place that he was in. He calls it the and
I felt like it was a try hard.
Self-envisioned.
It was a try hard.
it was a try hard, and it was so fast. Whereas Kanye's history, if you look at every album he's done, because you know how hard I've written for Kanye.
Something went mentally askew for
Like-
me for him. I felt like
Well,
something just digressed immediately, and I was like, "What
Yeah.
the fuck happened?"
Here's how I described it: is every album changed the gambit of where music was at and progressed it forward. and then there was a half-life that didn't catch up to where he was at about a year to 2 years later, where everybody caught up to it. Because you look at College Dropout, Late Registration, Graduation.
But like 808 and Heartbreaks
808s was
completely changed, I think, the landscape of music.
right.
Completely.
But this Good Music Summer was the first time I've ever seen Kanye following what everybody else is doing.
Really? Do you think he followed?
Fuck
In a lot of ways, I think with his own
100%.
album, with Ye and with Kids See Ghosts, I think so.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's what's hitting the charts.
I felt it because it was also attributed to the fact they didn't spend as much time on it, which was
They're just pushing
disheartening.
But look,
material out.
in a way, they completely still define shit because that stuff in Wyoming and everything that happened around it. The Poop-de Scoop song. Hold up. Let me tell you something about Kanye, right?
Yeah.
He trolled the entire
But he's a
music
genius with
industry
that.
and population because he went, you guys are so up on everything that I do that I'm going to put out a song and say, poopity scoop. And you guys are going to eat it up. And guess what happened? Everyone fucking listened to it and it ate it up. Like, if that's not trolling everyone, I don't know what it is. And in a way, I think to be 100% honest, I haven't gone back to Ye and listened to it 100 times.
That's what I'm
It's
saying.
not that kind of album for me.
Yeah.
However, I feel like in a way, he's not afraid to push the envelope and he knows, like, I'm motherfucking Kanye West.
Yeah.
I can put out a song and say poopity scoop and people are going to eat it up. And they did.
They're going
And
to
it
eat
w-
his poop.
I mean, honestly,
back to the eating
probably
ass shit.
Exactly.
He
We just keep
let's
circling
not
back
go
to
on
it.
that. He could like
Stop.
poop in a shoe and put it on Amazon or whatever the hell, or like Hypebeast or whatever you want to call it, and people will buy that for money. Like it's
That scares the shit out of me.
it's terrifying.
I guess I just look at the lineage of what he's known for doing with projects, and
It's hard to turn away from that.
being as big of a fan as I used to be, but then hearing, how he was doing everything on social media. It's like when Meek Mill was battling Drake over Twitter and Drake was coming with records. And that's how I feel about Kanye right now, doing so much more for social media. And he's a genius with that and getting his voice out there and blowing it up on a massive level as he's always been. But he always put the music first, whether it was Dark Twisted Fantasy over like 2.5 years making that, or Yeezus, which revolutionized everything and birthed the wave of like Travis Scott's and Uzi Vert's today, which I feel like Astro World should have been what Ye was. And that's how I feel when you had production where it's like, yeah, Mike Dean was mixing it, but it was like, you didn't have like Nick Basker and everybody else that, Ryan Leslie and everybody else. He's always known for bringing all this beautiful production and textures together to create this soundscape that you live on and live with for the next year. And the Good Music Summer stuff, like you said, that was the first time I just didn't find myself going back to it. So with Yandi, I'm like, because I love Yeezus, where a lot of people hated it. So I'm like, is this going to be, you liked it?
Oh, I hated it.
Oh, you hated it.
I
too.
absolutely
Interesting.
despised it.
Word.
I mean, the thing for me is it's hard because with the new like genre of the way hip hop and rap is, it's hard for me to like feel connected to it because I feel so attached to like that 90s flow with the lyricism and poeticism of it, where now it's like a little marginalized, I feel like. But again, maybe this is because I feel so attached to what I used to listen to, and hearing the new stuff is something that I don't enjoy.
That's
And
fair.
that could be a big thing too.
But see, you like some of the new stuff. Like you like Suicide Boys, Joji.
Yeah. I feel because they add a lot of depth to their stuff. Like, if I were to put Lil Pump and Suicide Boys and put their lyrics next to one another, it would be two pretty wildly different scenarios.
See, but people gave XXXTentacion a lot of shit, but he has some depth to his stuff as well as Lil Peep, which I know you listen to a lot.
I love Lil Peep.
What people don't understand is, here's the thing. I grew up in like, I guess rock, emo, if you want to call it, 2002, 2003 era.
Hawthorne Heights and shit.
Yes, more like brand new
Theosin.
Manchester Orchestra, that whole era.
yeah.
But somebody, who was it, sampled the Note Seatbelt song from Brand New. I think it was, who was the one that passed away from the Littles? Pump's here.
Lil
One of them.
Peep?
Peep, Lil
Peep
Peep
passed away?
passed away.
Yeah. I think he had he sampled the No Seatbelt song. Somebody was playing it and I was like, what? That's the new emo nowadays, which is crazy.
Yeah,
if you
Lil
think
Pump's
about it.
like definitely
gotta
falling
figure
under
out
that
who
kind of
was
like
it.
emo rap.
I think he's getting there. I don't think he's really hitting that staple though compared to other artists.
Well, he's not around anymore, so.
Well, no, I mean,
rest in peace.
yeah. I feel like it's.
But you don't get the same stuff that you and I used to listen to.
Yeah, no, like you're not going to hear something
it
that's
was
going to be
Lil
like
Peep. It's called-
KRS-One or Nas.
it's called Cry Baby.
Yeah, you don't
Cry
get
Baby
Sally
samples.
Star and like you don't get even atmosphere. Like their styles change. Like maybe
you
not-
want to know? Oh, here's the perfect example. All right, between the whole MGK and Eminem beef when they did their diss tracks, there's a huge difference in between what constitutes as a better song. Some people said MGK's diss track was better as a song, but Eminem was just better as a lyricist. So what it quantifies as a good song is the person that's listening to it, whether
That's so
they enjoy
funny
the
that you say
lyrics
that.
more or the beat more.
Right.
I posted something on my Instagram, and it was everyone's talking about MGK Eminem's beef, and nobody realizes.
Oh shit, they calling me. I got warrants.
But the greatest beef in our generation, if any of you remember, is Taking Back Sunday and Brand New. And it's funny because I posted that on my Instagram.
They had
and
a
I didn't-
beef?
Of course they did. Are you kidding?
Can they fight?
Absolutely. So
Did they all
listen-
like cry
No. Somebody stole somebody's girlfriend, and it was a whole
at Warped
thing.
Tour
Then they were removed from their top 8. Everything
But
was
the
over.
Is that
thing
because they were
is-
Sweeney Rose?
at a merch booth.
Moral of the story is
Sorry.
that wasn't sweet of our time. MGK Eminem, cute, but
I like how rap beef is back though.
yeah, that was.
I do
cool.
like
was
that.
Exciting.
I do
Mm.
like
Pusha
that.
T, Drake. I was
Oh, that
living
was the
for
best
that.
thing I've ever
Somebody was
heard
about
in
to
my whole entire
get somebody
life.
was about to get snuffed.
No way. I don't think it was that serious.
It
That's
was
the thing.
getting
They're so
there.
big now. You wouldn't
was
catch
gonna-
them at
he
a
wa-
battle or
he
some
was
shit.
gonna-
Like,
he was
do they,
gonna-
like, you know,
If it had been back when Clips was popping with their
That's
whole
what-
Yes, yes,
entourage
yes, yes,
of
yes.
40 dudes that were like
Yes,
half
yes,
of whom all
But
got
he was gonna
indicted.
out. He was gonna out himself anyways. He was gonna
Yeah.
out himself and his son anyway. So he didn't really.
I just wish Surgical Summer actually happened with Push because that's my favorite. He's in my top 5. So I'm
Pusha
like-
T is.
Yeah, in the
Push-
Clips.
yeah,
I
Pusha T's
miss
still there.
Malice as well. But
I saw Clips. So Clips played at USC
Damn.
show. They played. It was US.
What?
It was Clips. It was Macklemore, and then it was.
Macklemore.
Yeah, I know. It was
wait,
crazy.
Malice was rapping?
Yeah.
Like Pusha T's brother was rapping on
Pretty,
stage?
yeah. Hold on, I gotta make sure.
That's
I mean, it
crazy.
was Clips.
Yeah.
Clips. Wolfgang Gartner and Macklemore.
Damn,
and Aaron
that's
Lewis.
Gardner.
sick.
Oh
That was the
my-
That's
last. I think that was
sick.
one of the last shows I ever did at USC. Or it was Clips. No, it was Clips. It was Amberlyn, Clips, and T-Pain. That was my first show.
Wow.
Damn, throwback.
That was a great show.
She was the EDM vocalist.
It's crazy.
Must be nice. I don't know any of this.
Let's bring Pia back into this.
No. This is
Exciting.
nice.
K-pop.
No.
Okay, well then in modern, political news, Bill Cosby sentenced to 3 years.
3 to 10 years.
He'll get 3 though.
Yeah.
He'll be eating Jello pudding and then fucking.
Well, I'm
leave.
just
that's-
over it.
that's
I'm
just seeing if he
overhearing
survives
about
his-
it in the
his-
news.
Sentence.
Okay.
Damn. All right. Oh, okay. So do you guys think?
Okay.
Well, make things up. No,
No.
whatever. He went to jail.
Yeah.
I mean, at this
Bill
point,
Cosby.
it's like, isn't he like the first of the
Me Too's.
Me Too movement that's like going to prison?
Yeah.
Isn't he the
Essentially,
first of
yeah.
like? Yeah.
Everybody else got sent to rehab.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
We-
no, isn't Weinstein gonna? Isn't he supposed to go to trial?
Yeah, he's going to trial.
I thought
Yeah.
he went to trial, and his whole thing is he's on house arrest
Mm.
for like.
No.
No.
He's like
2
he hasn't gone
years?
to trial. He's on house arrest. I think.
Oh, he's on a
before-
house arrest
before
till
he-
trial.
I think so, yeah.
I think what that.
He's gonna get fucked.
Yeah.
like
he will.
that's gonna be really
He
bad.
will. They got
Yeah.
tapes on him. He'll get
That's
something.
really bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But all right. Do you guys think? All right. Here's another one. Do you guys think that people will actually watch House of Cards without Kevin Spacey?
No, I will not watch that show without Kevin Spacey.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Honestly, I didn't even watch it when he was in it.
Damn. Really? You would like that show?
Yeah, I heard
You
it was really good.
It's so good. It's like up there with like the Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
But it's
It's
like taking
really
Aaron
good.
Paul out of Breaking Bad.
Yeah, you can't do that. It's like, why did he get taken out again? Same
Sexual
thing, right?
misconduct, right?
Wait. Who? Oh, Kevin Spacey. Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I just
not-
don't know, why do you have to do that? Just like fucking do your job and go home.
Right.
I think
well,
the, problem-
hey.
the glamorized life, things could turn out so many different ways. Either you
It can warp you.
think you become a god,
Yeah.
or
Well,
you're like,
and-
hey, I'm just a person, and I had
Humble.
a really successful career.
Humble.
Well, and it doesn't make it all right, but there was
No.
a
Oh yeah,
a good.
I'm not trying to like
he's not-
constitute.
he's
Yeah,
not
like I'm not
saying
trying
that
to
it-
No.
defend that,
No. I'm not saying you were. I'm saying that there was a good. When I was that was preluding my point, which was that there was a good 50, 60 years where Hollywood operated under that sphere of impunity,
Mm.
where that was just going on probably in a lot of people who haven't been caught.
Right.
Oh, it's still going on.
It's still going on.
yeah,
right?
it's not like it stopped.
I have personally.
She's seen some shit.
I have personally not only seen some shit, but have been courted to like do certain things, like
eating ass.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
no. Yeah, it's just like it's still there. It's not gonna go away anytime soon.
Yeah.
And it's now just becoming public, but like people like care, but not enough to change.
Mm.
And I think that when Bill Cosby, now that he's in jail, and then when Weinstein ends up going to jail and stuff like that, it's gonna like have a little dent in it, but it's not gonna change it. It's still gonna happen.
They just want to also make the point, like, just because you're famous doesn't mean you can get away with everything, and that's something
People are
that
still
they
gonna
wanna
do
really
it, but they're just
grind
now like
people's
are gonna
brains.
be super careful
Super
about
low.
it so that they
Yeah.
don't get in trouble. Before they did it so openly because no one went to prison, no one went to jail, no one got caught, no one. You would say one thing or two.
Who's gonna believe you?
Who's gonna believe you?
Yeah.
Harvey
you know who I am?
Weinstein of
Yeah.
all people, like this guy has put out some of like
The White Suge Knight.
some of our some of
White
our
Suge Knight.
favorite.
That's all right. That's all right.
Some of our favorite movies, some of the greatest movies of all time
Mhm.
he has produced and he has put out. And of course, if he said to me, no one's going to believe you, I'd be like, yep, you're right. No one's going to fucking believe me.
Well, the weird thing was I had a conversation the other night with a friend of about like whatchamacallit, Blue Jasmine.
I don't know what you're
Woody
talking about.
motherfucker. Can't think of it. All right, I brought up Roman Polanski as another example, and he's still making movies. So it's like
Isn't he not here though? Isn't he still?
he can't come back to the States.
Yeah, he can't. All right, that's what I
Right.
thought.
But he's
Okay.
still making movies in Europe and gets big actors that go work with him. Right.
Oh, okay.
So I feel like there's this weird conflict of interest, and you play this like both sides of the seesaw sort of thing, where it's like I'm sure there's a ton of actors on the first go around of trying to get certain actors for movies where they're like, I'm not going to be in that movie because Roman Polanski's doing it. I'm not going to do that.
Totally.
It's
But
like-
it's the next generation. It's the
Mhm.
the generation of like the like Ansel Igor and like Jennifer Lawrence and
Mhm.
like that group of actors and actresses are a little bit more like they're sticklers about it, and they're like, we're not going to do that. We don't have to do that. Jennifer
Yeah.
Lawrence doesn't have to do that.
Right. Sure.
And I think that that's the generation that it's gonna kind of like it's gonna fizzle out, like the Me Too movement. There's not going to be a lot more women that come forward because it's just not going to happen anymore in that generation of actors. But
It's a good point.
but now it's
The problem is too is like, and there's this whole case going on right now, right, with that dude from Superior Court.
Oh, Kavanaugh?
Yeah,
I watched that all today. Yeah.
dude, and it's so crazy. And like she's like a psychology professor or
Yeah,
some
at
shit.
Stanford.
Yeah, like, and she came
Psychology for the win.
yeah, and she came forward and like gave her whole like
Testimony.
testimony on it, like, and it was like intense, like some of the
was.
things she was saying.
That was hard
And- and,
listening
you
to
know,
her opening
and-
speech.
And I do believe her, after hearing it and seeing it, reading it too. I do believe her. And it's kind of like the point now in situations like that, whether you're famous, an actor, or in the Superior Court or whatever. Like,
Mhm.
dude, even if she was lying, man, you're fucked. Like, you're already like your name is now tainted.
yeah.
Mm.
It's so
Like,
easy. It's so easy to like tarnish
Title is
someone's name.
tarnished
For
like-
sure.
Mm.
Yeah.
Well, that's what makes the victims feel so scared to even bring it to court.
Yeah.
Because they feel like if it doesn't work out, now they're going to be branded with something they didn't even really do.
But even if
True.
it's in like non-famous people, like if I mean you could kind of attest to this. Like even if it was like a rape victim or something like that, I feel like they won't come forward because they feel like if nothing happens from them coming forward, they're going to be branded as a victim for the rest of their life, whether or not you're famous.
Yeah,
So-
and
Exactly.
She wasn't raped.
Exactly.
She just
Well, I thought that was so foul how they didn't keep it. They forced her to come out publicly and do all of that. And that's what she said in her opening statement about how she's received death threats because the minute she was pressured to come out publicly, media is only going to blow things up and make things worse.
Right.
Way worse.
Yeah,
Salt
because
in
that's
the
what
wound.
it makes good
That's-
clickbait.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah,
And
of
here's,
course.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
my main qualm with where the country's at right now, is it's so divisive. Like, I'm liberal, but I agree that the Democrats are playing the same game Republicans are
oh,
with
for sure.
leveraging power over other people's like individuals' lives, like whether it's Kavanaugh or Ford, in this case in particular, where, you know, Republicans shut up when Ford was talking and then Democrats went in on Kavanaugh, but he dodged their questions and Republicans sided with them. And it's all just grandstanding for political power. And it's not legislation. Nothing. It's
just two parties trying to find their own
Yeah.
ideals. That's what it comes down to.
Who's right? Who's more right?
Yeah, and so I think both parties are just in the wrong weird place, and it's just causing this void that's just, you know.
Yeah, well, until we create some kind of unison between one another, it's just going to be chaos each time they hit the court.
That's why I like how England or Europe have like 6 to 8 parties for everything.
Interesting.
She just went.
I always feel weird talking about these things. I'm not a very like open person when I talk about politics. Isn't there like 3 things that you can't talk about openly?
Politics, religion, and sex. Yeah.
See, I'm like a firm believer in that.
We violated all of those tonight.
Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it.
Okay, well then, on another front then, where do you, in your industry, see LA nightlife heading? Because it does go from trend to trend.
Up my ass.
But it also...
You brought it up this time.
No, but
Do
here's
not
my
enter.
point. Is I was like watching Boogie
Way to
Nights.
make a
Exit
turn
only.
from sex to nightlife.
I was watching Boogie Nights last night, right?
Okay.
Never seen it.
Never seen
With Mark Wahlberg and
Yeah, no, I know. It's
Burt
not.
Reynolds. Okay. Great movie.
Anyway, continue.
Anyway, there's a scene where Luis Guzman is like the main promoter for this club in the Valley that's popping. It was the hot spot of town at the time in the 70s.
No one goes to the Valley.
No, I know.
Facts.
And I live out there.
This
It
is
sucks.
true.
Guys, stop talking shit about the Valley.
It's horrible.
Okay, Elijah.
I'm in...
Oh! All right.
Ooh, there's about to be a clap back in a couple weeks
Yeah,
when we
I'm
get
about to
this
say,
thing.
that dude's gonna come back with a rebuttal on this one.
You gotta edit this
Elijah,
out.
we giving you your shot too. Don't worry about
I'm dead. Okay,
The Bay, okay. Oakland represents.
this is her trying to backtrack. Just kidding. I'm kidding. Moving on.
it. I'm so hyphy.
Mark Wahlberg was crying in a car.
Okay, a promoter in the Valley. Moving on.
Beers. Yeah, I mean.
Ben, bro, what the hell?
I'm just saying.
Continue.
I'm gonna go with every other Bay colloquialism.
Know what I mean?
Continue. Promoter in the Valley, Ben.
No, so I guess my question is that LA has trends and everything seems like it is progressive, but then it also reverts back and things become popping again. And you can sort of notice this cycle of nightlife in LA.
Okay.
So, well, I guess my question is, do you see it being that innovative or where do you see it heading in the next maybe 2 to 5 years?
Oh, 2 to 5 years is a very short amount of time. Like, it's the nightlife scene in LA is moving and shifting so fast. Outside of the bars and clubs that we are familiar with, the ones that it's either 2 things. It's either the bars and clubs that the average consumer goes to, like us,
Right.
and then there are bars and clubs, mostly clubs and lounges, which is what we like to call them now. That is, it's more for the celebrity and the
speakeasies.
yeah,
and
like
stuff
the the high society of
Exclusive.
LA. You know,
Yeah.
it's either of those two. There's no happy medium. Like there's no it's not easy for just an average person to go and walk into the Nice Guy or into Delilah or any of those places.
Right.
You know, these public places that
Lines out the door, down the street.
Well, no, there's no lines. You can't walk in. Like you have to know
It's like the
somebody who-
Jonathan Club,
It's like the Jonathan. It's becoming these. So
Ah.
the Jonathan Club and the Soho House are now becoming
built on exclusivity.
a blueprint
No
for
boo.
bars and clubs, and it's the turnover is insane. Like I mean, like I know bars and clubs that have opened 2 years ago and that are literally going to close in a year. Like the
Damn.
lifespan of these clubs and these bars are literally 3 years. Like it's very very short. It's not that.
It's not about
that,
longevity. It's
it's
about
not
what's
about-
happening. I'm
yeah.
gonna get this and
Yeah.
cash out.
Yeah. Like when the Houston Brothers came out with the speakeasy vibes with Davey Wayne, with Dirty Laundry, and
Blind Dragon.
Blind Barber.
No.
Blind
Bootsy
Barber.
Bellows?
Nope. Where
All
we
these
met.
names
No
are
Vacancy.
fucking
No
awful.
Vacancy.
Yeah.
The Houston brothers were like the forefront of those kind of that vibe, and they built like their bars all have the same theme. It's a very speakeasy, underground, dark vibe, grungy kind of thing. They stuck to that, and it's lasted them a very, very long time.
They thrive on it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're very successful because they now own the majority of speakeasies in Los Angeles. When you think about Davey Wayne's No Vacancy and Dirty
I
Laundry,
didn't know that.
they Houston brothers own those. What other speakeasies do you
shit.
know besides those?
Well,
Blind
like,
Barber.
Well,
I wish I knew more real speakeasies.
Was it the blue? No, we already said that. The Blue Dragon.
They all have liquor
Well, what's the one
licenses.
that has the roller skating?
that's Davey Wayne's.
That's Davey Wayne's.
Okay,
Davey Wayne's
I-
is roller skating?
Yeah.
Where? I
Yeah.
know about the fridge, but where's the...
Upstairs.
Yeah, so it's like
Go
literally
tell me
have
Davey
like
Wayne's.
a, like a
Oh, you haven't been to the upstairs, bro? Damn.
Yeah,
We'll
so
get
it's
you
like
in,
so
dog.
it's like they've like picked this theme and they stuck to it and it's worked for them versus other clubs like so like 1-0 came from New York, you know, so
Right.
it has that it has the New York clout behind it. And like for example like Blind Dragon, it's a karaoke bar, but now it's turned into a restaurant. So it's they still do
They still do. Yeah.
they still do it,
Yeah.
but they're now primarily a restaurant. So it's like they've like there's this like group of places that you go to in nightlife and they're not going to be here in a couple of years. It's going to change for sure.
I think No Vacancy still has the best entrance.
Well, that's what it is. They every
Ever.
single one of the Houston brothers establishments has a cool entrance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Davey Wayne's, you walk into a refrigerator.
It's a garage.
Yeah.
It's a-
And
oh,
it's
yeah,
the
or something like
fridge
that.
is the door in the garage.
Break room 86, you walk in through a vending machine or something like
Oh,
that.
yeah, yeah.
With No Vacancy, you to 3 doors, and then to, I don't want to
I
give
was
it
thinking
away.
about- all right.
And then
I won't give it away then.
Yeah,
Never mind.
and
But
then-
that one was cool.
yeah, I mean they're dope places, and you just gotta find that thing and stick to it and expand on it.
it's great. It's got
Like,
great
do you
appeal.
remember when like Nazarian had a stranglehold over LA with SBE?
He still does, but now,
they?
but yeah, SB is one of the biggest hospitality groups. But he was really smart about it. He ended up expanding not only to like to nightlife. He did hotels.
Yeah, like the SLS.
He does,
But-
he does. Now he does like properties. It's like insane, and not only in LA, it's in Vegas, and it's in London, and Dubai, and Miami. I mean, it's like
Everybody's
just say
got a
all the
side
biggest
hustle.
Must be
cities.
nice. Yeah.
Like he has a like a Century City office building. Like it's it's a huge high rise.
Or
and
like
it's,
the Mid Wilshire one. with
yeah,
SBE?
yeah. Like, and it literally says in big letters SBE.
Crazy.
It's insane. Yeah,
I mean-
he did it smart because that's longevity.
Well, I guess it's like Carlito's way. You just have to know when to get out and then,
Yeah.
move on to the next industry.
Yeah,
You
and
know,
it's not all
in the
about
same family
celebrities. The celebrities are gonna go where the wind takes them, but
Not Backstreet Boys.
Never.
Never.
Never. 25 years and going, dude.
That's a fucking long
clearly,
time.
I picked the right boy band.
Yes, you
let me tell
did.
Because
Congratulations.
NSYNC, LOL, where you at?
Sally
Nowhere.
brought up a good point about Backstreet Boys. She said that normally people have like their boy band phases at a certain age,
Yeah.
right? And it's like you have this obsession, and then it's like really high intensity at a certain age, and then after a while, it gradually gets.
It's like realizing your first crush.
Yes,
and
yes,
just
yes.
Yeah.
Realizing
So she
that's
said
not
that-
the.
So
that's
she
just
said
a
that
crush.
like I never had that. I never had a Backstreet Boys or NSYNC or a Justin Bieber or anything like that. And she was like, at 25 years old, you're having it with this K-pop band.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
And she was like, you just got to write it out. It's
But
not.
it's crazy because, like, honestly, in the best way, the more I work in this industry of music, the more I meet artists, and the more I realize they've never actually been fans of things before.
Mm.
And it's totally different being a fan of something and then creating that thing. And just in general, just being a fan of something. Like, I understand that I'm not the majority. I'm the minority of like diehard fans.
Sure.
But like I've waited 14 hours at Amoeba on Record Store Day for a vinyl that I didn't know I was gonna get, and I got it, which is amazing. But I've done that, and just because I really, really wanted that product, and it's like, it's crazy to be on the end of like management and working with artists that are trying to reach people like me, and being that person like in this day and age, and being like, I love the Backstreet Boys. I'll wait 8 hours in line. I don't care. Because
8 hours.
you have to explain that to people. People are like, I don't understand what you mean. Like, you're gonna go stand somewhere
Yeah.
for 8 hours
Fuck
for
yeah.
what?
Yeah, see, I
And I'm like, to maybe meet my favorite band. And
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I will.
Yeah.
It
and
is something you can't really describe, like
Yeah.
that feeling, that emotion.
That's 100%.
Yeah.
I agree with her.
And so as soon as she told, like, I brought home a K-pop magazine.
Oh my
Or, I'm
God.
sorry, I brought home a billboard with BTS on the cover.
No. Can I just? You're not.
Please
doing
take it.
justice.
Take
You're
it.
just
Take it
really
and run with
fucking
it.
with me right now. This band called
It's
BTS.
called Pia Bear.
Yeah. BTS like was on the cover of Billboard magazine, and Billboard does this thing like once every like couple of months where they make it into like a huge magazine. It's not like a normal size magazine. And I like wanted it, but it was like hard to find and stuff. And so like one night I came home and I was just like hanging out and stuff. And then I went into my room and it was on my bed. And when I tell you, I fucking screamed at the top of my lungs and started crying. Like tears were running down my face. I was so happy. And she was like, what happened? What happened?
Well, let me
What
tell
happened?"
you, I got home at like, I wasn't feeling well that day.
Mm.
And I just brought home the magazine. And I was like, okay, I left it on our bed. And then I went to bed.
Uh-huh.
And it was like 7 p.m. And I just like was under the weather.
Rude
And
awakening.
she came home. My door was shut, lights were off, whatever. She went home. And then I just hear a blood curdling scream. And I'm like, yo, there's either a dragon or a spider
saw
in
it.
the apartment. And I'm like, if it's a spider, you gotta
Well,
get
what
up.
kind of spiders have you
figure it
been
out.
chilling with?
They're friendly.
It
It's
doesn't matter.
okay.
No, they're not friendly. No,
shy.
no
Oh, they're
spiders
not
are friendly.
friendly.
Fuck that shit. No, fuck that. But I was like, what could it possibly be? She runs into my room with the magazine in both hands, collapses on my floor,
Yeah, it was
starts
intense.
crying,
It was really
going,
bad.
oh my God. And I was like, oh, yeah, for sure. Got
It was
you,
the most
bitch.
amazing gift I've ever had. Like,
Man,
so,
that's
It's
special.
at our coffee table right now.
Yeah, it's
if you
underneath
wanna
our
look at
coffee
it.
table.
Are you close to getting in with them to a meet and greet?
Are you fucking out of your mind? I'm so close. My old boss, my old boss, his client, got invited by Scooter Braun to go to this intimate after party, like very, very intimate after
Right,
party for
right.
BTS
Yeah.
when they were
Stores
doing
come
their
do.
when they were doing their 4 shows, and it was the last night that they were doing
Staples Center?
Staples Center.
Yeah.
Pia went to Staples Center, by the way.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
I went
those
to the
snaps were
concert.
crazy.
Okay, we'll get to that. So my boss calls me and he goes, "Listen, I just want to tell you, like, don't freak out. This is what's going on." I was like, "I don't believe you. Go fuck yourself." And I hung up on him. He calls me back because he always fucks with me, and he goes, "No. Listen, I know that I always fuck with you, but this is like real life. This is like SOS. Like, just fucking like listen." So he told me what it was, and I was like, "Okay." I started hyperventilating, and he goes, "Okay, I'm gonna try to get you to go to this thing." That's only if that client wants to go, right?
Yeah.
And then he would have to ask for me. Long story short, like, I guess it was just like super, super tight, and like he just couldn't get me in. And he said that they like took his people's phones. Like, it was 15 people.
NDAs, all that.
Right.
Not even NDAs. They
Mhm.
just took the phones and they
No pics.
no
one believes you.
pictures.
In
Yeah.
those bags.
Yeah, I don't know. He didn't tell me like what they
Yeah.
did with it, but like he had gone with the client and they like took their phones, and the guys were like super weird, and they just stood there, and it was like kind of awkward because they didn't know how to speak English, and one of them did, so it was like hard for one of them to translate everybody, and they were like
Right,
very
right.
private, and
Yeah.
like they each of them had like a manager that was always hovering over them and like making sure that they were like doing this and doing that. Like, that's like the closest I've ever really been to like them.
BTS.
But Sally here,
We have a surprise for you, Pia.
no, you
They're-
don't.
They're in your closet right
No,
now.
yeah.
Oh
Okay,
my
no,
God,
no, you're not
fuck
gonna do
you.
that.
I would kick your ass.
No, no,
if
no,
you did
And
that.
then
Sally.
Nick Carter
Or
is
me.
in Sally's closet.
No, Sally
was
here.
so
We did double
creepy.
duty for show no shame.
Yeah.
With his wife and kid, because he has those.
Yeah,
just so
they're,
you
they're
know.
here too. I flew them all in.
Oh
Aw.
my God. They live in LA.
They're at
He's
the
like
Hill-
in Malibu.
I put them up at the Hilton.
No, Sally. I told Sally, I was like, if you ever come across anything K-pop, I will be your first call because I will move out.
You know,
Like, you're not gonna want to.
I texted Elijah today and I was like, how do I tell Pia that I'm working an event with a K-pop band? And he was like, I don't know what to
Don't.
tell you. He's like, I don't know what to tell you. Oh, I gotta look.
What did he say? Please tell me he was supportive.
Verbatim.
Yeah, she called me. She goes, "Listen, like, this is like kind of K-pop, but like not really." And I was like, I got out of bed. I was like, "What are you talking about?" And she told me this thing, and I looked up the band. I was like, I don't really care about them. And she was like, "Okay, good, thank God."
I said, it has happened and I am unsure how to go about this, ... There's an event next weekend and there's a K-pop band perforing. how do I even mention this to the one named Pia? And he goes,
One name.
he goes, what did he say? Hold on. He goes, tread very carefully. She's a savage animal. Facts. Facts.
It was so funny too. 'Cause, I asked Pia if she knew who Rich Brian was. And she was
word.
like, I don't know who that is.
Oh, I know.
And I was like, all right, well, I just ran into him and
I loved his new album, by the way.
yeah,
It was
his new
good.
album was
So
great.
good.
His new album
Shouts
was
out
great.
James Royal for mixing that. That was
88
dope.
Rising.
88 Rising.
Anyone on
great,
88 Rising,
dude.
if you ever listen to this, I'd love to have you on the show.
Yeah, they're great, dude. I really,
Yes, please.
I
I think a lot of them are in LA.
I want to ask Brian for sure the next time we see him. Like,
And then while you're at it,
Tori
ask
invited
him.
him over for like movie night and shit.
Oh,
and
shit,
I
I'll
was
be there.
like, come on over for movie night. And
He
like-
met-
Dude,
he
that
met
was
like,
BTS.
hell yeah.
That would be a dope episode. Just have 4 mics set up watching a movie with Rich Brian.
Hell
Look at
yeah.
The commentary.
No
But I showed her a picture on Rich Brian's Instagram, and he was with BTS, like
I'll be there.
standing in the middle.
Yeah.
And it's like the
Oh,
whole
Backstreet
squad.
Boys have one of those, by the way. Just
Yeah,
so you
but
know.
it's too many people have
Before
photos
anyone
with them,
else
and
did
it's
it,
just
Backstreet
like
Boys did
it's
it.
giving me anxiety.
You think Backstreet Boys saw BTS and they all at the same time, like all, what, 5 of them?
No, I think
5 Backstreet Boys, like 7 BTS.
I think
So
BTS
if they were just like
saw Backstreet
all
Boys.
in unison, we're like, Simba.
I die.
Only in my wildest dreams.
Only in my wildest dreams.
That's true, because I don't.
Yeah, so I went to their concert. It's incredible.
Nice.
So it's worth the experience.
Oh,
I think it's always worth the experience.
Yeah.
I bet it would be.
It was
Those waves of people,
waves, motherfucker.
Literal waves.
Hell no. That I like needed.
tsunami.
I needed like ear things. Like it was
Earplugs?
Yeah, there you go.
Those
It was
ear things,
screeching.
bruh.
It wasn't even like a. It was like a. Like it was like
It was
the
like cicadas.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
a high hackle.
It was a
Yeah,
hackle.
yeah.
That's
It was
what
like
I said. It sounds like a hackle.
It was the craziest screams and the cries and the bitches had binoculars.
God damn.
I was like,
Well, look, okay, like, when you're sitting at the Staples Center and you're all the way in the back, you need that shit.
I don't want to see ants.
I did
yeah,
that.
but we were
Well,
like pretty close, and the girl behind me had binoculars. I was like,
Weren't that close?
I was pretty
Oh.
close.
Yeah, I saw where you were.
Close
you were pretty
enough.
close. Yeah.
I was
Staples
decent.
Center is huge.
It's
It is
huge. It's
massive.
huge.
Oh, yeah.
Huge.
It's massive.
I sat up at the top for St. Pablo at the Forum, and that was crazy.
The Forum is
The forum is.
incredible.
I feel like the forum is a better.
The Forum is created for artists and for music.
Yeah.
You
Yes,
don't
yes, yes.
It's not a multi
Staples Center is
room,
not
you
that
know what I
good.
mean?
Now, you know what I like?
Staples
The
has
Palladium.
the
Good
Clippers.
Palladium's
Yeah.
tight.
The Clippers.
I
love
like
the
the
Palladium.
small venues.
Yeah, same.
When it's like the crazy arenas, it's either gets way too much or tickets are so gnarly expensive you can't really get great seats.
Do you want to guess how much I paid for BTS?
$250.
Disgusting amounts.
Seven.
750.
Yeah.
Man, why do you jump from 250 to 750, bro?
I was gonna
when
get
you said the
middle
250,
ground.
you made it sound
You
like so
fucking
bitch
chuckled.
made. It's like, oh, nah.
Around 250.
No, I paid 300.
Oh, wow.
I
So
paid
we weren't
so
like
much
far
more.
off.
So
Yeah.
close. What are you talking about?
No.
No. I paid.
$3,000 for the meet and greet.
I wish they had
Yo,
a meet
the
and
meet and
greet.
greets are insane.
They don't have it. They
It's
don't have a
crazy.
meet and
But
greet.
look,
That's a hustle.
Another thing that people don't think about is artists don't make money
Not
anymore.
yeah.
Not anymore. I mean, unless you're Drake or in the top 30.
Yeah, unless
Yeah.
you're top
really
40,
not making money.
It's hard
So
to make
your
money.
meet and greets and stuff, it's important. And it's weird growing up in this era where you can just pay to meet a band, because when I was a kid,
Yeah.
the Backstreet Boys were so far away from me that I would like cry watching them on television because I'm like, I'm never gonna meet these guys in my entire life.
Yeah.
And now you're like, well, if I make enough money, I can meet Drake.
You know
You know
what
what
I
I
think
mean?
is funny about that? Because, like, all right, so I'm a huge metal fan, as a lot of people know here. And
You
I've
are?
met.
Like Slipknot, or were we talking about
Oh,
like
I mean, I love Slipknot. Are you kidding me?
They're too soft.
I mean, pretty much like my go-tos for my beginnings were like Marilyn Manson, Rob Zombie, Sabbath, Death, all that stuff. But literally, I've met most of my favorite bands in the metal genre because I got the meet and greet tickets, and they're only like $60.
I do like
Yeah,
that.
they make- they make
It's
it
like, you
very-
go up like,
yeah,
hey,
they're
what's
cool.
up, dude? They like sit down and actually kick it with you.
I
not
wish
just
like
K-pop
that.
was like that.
it's not
God
because they
damn.
make too much money.
I know,
They
but
can't.
still.
And they're at levels where it's like damn near an assassin will show up like, I love you
1000%.
so much. and
Yeah,
then
yeah,
shoot
yeah.
them.
God
yeah.
damn.
They're like the fans, the K-pop fans are crazy. They're almost. It's.
Oh, well, they're like completely maniacal. Like, aren't they like
Yeah.
trying to grab
I've
blocks of hair? And
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Oh my
Fuck
God,
that.
let me just
God.
like get some of your blood.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah,
sell it
yeah,
on
yeah.
eBay.
1000%.
Fuck that Ben
Jesus.
Baller in Korea was like, dude, there's girls sending these guys period blood in a bag.
Ew.
Oh, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm done. I'm done. I'm done.
For
I'm
what?
done. Yeah, it's
Maybe
disgusting.
they can smell it
there's
later.
some fans that ruin it for the rest of us.
Yeah.
I agree with
honestly,
you.
because
Yeah.
like
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
a
sure.
diehard, but like you're not getting my underwear in your mail. Like,
I agree.
It's not like why? What's the point? That's
What
just
if they
gross.
asked for it?
No.
Oh, okay.
There was
Ew.
something cool. There was something cool.
If the Backstreet Boys
Yeah,
asked
if the
for it.
Backstreet
Yeah,
Boys?
ew. Also, ew, because like you're all married with children. Like,
What
ew.
if they weren't married with children? They asked
also,
for it?
ew. Like you're no.
What about in
no.
their prime?
I would have sent it.
They're still in their prime. How rude. How rude.
Dad
no.
bought
I guess
on a
I've never
1,000.
just been that. I've. It's funny to try to explain this to people, but like I've genuinely never been that fan. Like I've never wanted to like fuck. I just love the music.
Right.
Never want to fuck
Never
them?
want to fuck them
Oh, I want to
No.
fuck every single person in BTS.
at the same time.
I
all at
don't.
the same time.
I
Butt
really
stuff.
don't.
It's a lot of
Like
dicks.
to this day, like
But
I
they're
will
Asian,
still,
so it's
I will
like-
still wait.
So it's like two dick, like
It's
two,
like
two of them
or
equals
three-
one.
yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
two for one
Oh,
deal.
So,
for
like,
the
you know,
love of God,
That's the
I did
next
not
single.
Sign up for this. no.
2 for 1.
No, it's music has never been anything sexual for me ever. Like
What?
I've just loved.
Bitch, this is how you,
You
know
never
she's
play
a-
that track, you know?
This is
Just
how
get
you
in
know
the
she's a
mood.
true
You never
manager.
have like your sex
Sex
playlist
playlist.
or like
She
your
doesn't have
with-
a, she doesn't have a sex playlist.
I don't.
Yeah,
I
this
go
is
on
how you
YouTube
know
and I
she's
play
a
that shit. Like,
Wait,
about to
you,
play,
you let it go on random?
No, me? No,
I
I was
could-
about to
I
play
could never
Pretty
put it
Ricky
on
on here and play
random.
Grind on me and see what.
No, I
metal
just.
song just comes on.
Yeah, no,
Car's just
I'd like, I'd be playing something really nice and sweet, and then all of a
Let's
sudden it's like
go!
Black Dahlia Murder being like, everybody die. It's like, I'm so sorry.
I'm sorry. Oh my god. No, I've never. It's never been that for me. For me, it's just like, oh, this makes me feel a certain way, but it's never been like, oh my god,
Right.
I need to have sex to this music. It's just been like, I
I
just
need to
love
mail them my
this music
underwear.
so much. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's never made me feel
Yeah,
that way. And like,
got you.
it sucks because people will stop meet and greets and do things like that because there's a weird like. No offense, but like that's weird. Like if you're putting your underwear in an envelope and writing an address
Oh,
and
yeah, you
mailing
psycho.
Put it
it,
in a
like,
bag
Oh,
first.
yeah.
like no, please
I was gonna
don't.
sign it.
No, you're psycho.
No, I don't.
No.
I wouldn't call them psycho. I just wouldn't do it.
Just
you know, what
send
I
them
mean?
my business card and be like, hey, you know, here's my hourly rate
Well,
for
no,
therapy.
by psycho,
Yeah.
by psycho,
Dude.
all I mean is that's not the way. If you ever have hopes of meeting your
Yeah,
favorite
yeah, yeah.
artists, of
So
getting
bad,
to them,
dude.
Yeah.
it's
I
not gonna
just-
work.
The fanatic
I
stuff just
mean,
comes from the.
It works in some people's
attachment
cases, but I don't
issues.
listen to
Yeah.
those people's music.
That's
I don't
what it
know.
is.
Yeah,
I don't know.
maybe.
I don't know. I mean, look, we live in a weird world where it's access is everything, and like, and that's the thing. When I was growing up, there was no Twitter, there was no Facebook. All I knew about the Backstreet Boys was what I bought in little like magazines that said like Nick's favorite color is green and Brian loves blue and his favorite food is pizza.
Those Ralph's
like
magazines.
straight
Man,
up, like that's
yeah.
all I had to go off of. Now, like your favorite artists are tweeting and they're Instagram storying, so you just have a different level of connection to these people, which
Yeah.
Right.
Back
You
in my-
see more about their lives.
Well,
You
there's just
never
so
did.
much available information to media
Exactly.
in our palms.
Yeah.
It's hard
It's-
to
it's not just
feel
like-
really connected, but at the same time, it's like a disconnection.
I saw
That's
about
true.
my favorite artist in this tabloid. Like, you know, like,
Yeah.
that's
yeah, there's too much.
Mm.
Honestly, there's too much. And then you're like, oh God, my favorite artist, like he can't spell to save his life. Like this is so gross. Like, did you not
dreams crushed.
like there versus there? It's really not that hard, and it really crushes your dreams.
Hey,
It's
I'm
too
good about
accessible.
that.
You're horrible.
Well, there was,
about
like,
that.
good about that.
There was,
Guys,
like-
there's
horrible
no
about that.
excuse. They apostrophe re is they are. I feel like some people use that to be fancy, and it doesn't work because
No,
it's different.
It's
meaning.
wong.
Mhm.
For
Fucking
the
wrong.
love of God,
Well, it's like-
fucking
I hate
open
it.
a book.
It was like I let R. Kelly slide for so many years, and
Oh
That is
my
a terrible
God.
person to let
That's,
slide.
yeah, I am
No, I'm just
100%
saying.
on Carter's back on that
no,
one.
and then I worked at a music studio right when I got back to LA, and he had a session where he had it locked down for 3 weeks straight and only showed up for one weekend.
What?
And I put my ear up to the door because it was a closed session, like for 3 weeks. He flew in his
So you had
engineers
to.
from Atlanta, blah blah blah, and I was bringing him mad weird shit, like not sexual shit or
I was
anything
about to
weird
say
like
like
that.
fuzzy
He wanted
dildo.
no,
This could
like
get
he wanted
weird.
like
a
cake
8-year-old girl.
He wanted,
and
like-
a golden shower.
Oh my god, no! But I was like,
Tap out.
Can you do this for me, Benji?
at that point, I had canceled R. Kelly. It was when the whole sex cult thing was going on in Atlanta.
Mhm.
And then I put my ear to the door and I was like, I heard that music and I was like, all right, I'll separate the two right now. This dude still got it. God damn it. But
Ah.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's a weird world. I don't know.
Anyway, how you guys feeling? Damn, this has been.
Great. How are we doing? Do you edit these?
Now we do.
You're gonna-
No.
We might have to. This one's long.
No, but
And we should probably
Wait, you
close up.
don't
We
edit
already hit
these?
over.
I'm
Like
feeling-
I make them sound good.
Yeah, but you don't like cut them and put them.
No, you guys make it sound good. Okay.
Oh, wow.
Do we
I feel like do we
cut
even,
them? No.
Can you say that?
Huh?
What?
Oh yeah. No, but
gonna
we're almost 2
fucking
hours
take
right
over
now.
this
Wow.
podcast.
We just had
No,
so
we're
much
not.
fun doing this.
See what I'm saying? No, but we protect the innocent, so I won't use last names if that's preferable. So
For us?
yeah.
Yeah, well, it's we want the guests to feel comfortable about talking about what they want, having that anonymous feeling
What
to it.
are the easiest or most organic aspects of managing an artist?
The easiest?
Yeah.
Honestly, I was just talking to someone about this the other day, and I think it just depends on the kind of manager that you are. Because, like for me, when it comes to music management and an artist, my most important, like my priority is making sure that they're protected. Because in this world, like we've been talking about music this whole time. You talk about Kanye, you talk about R. Kelly, you talk about whatever.
Talk about butt stuff.
Sure,
There's lots of
like,
butt stuff.
But look, everyone loves everything that they do. But when you have an artist, whether they're an actor, a musician, or whatever, they're in the spotlight.
Right.
So my job as management is to make sure that they're protected, right? Because everyone wants to know every little thing about these people. And you know what? Maybe it's not their business. And for me, it's like the easiest part is just understanding they're human too, and that they just happen to be good at this thing, which is music that people love to consume, and understanding that they're in demand to an extent it's not normal, and being like, you know what? I understand it. I appreciate what you do, and I'm going to do my best to make sure that you reach your dreams. Meanwhile, like me being the fan that I am, your fans get what you want. So for me, like doing what I do, I love what I do so much because
Same.
I'm like, you know what? I'm a fan and you're a star.
Yeah.
And I know that your fans want to get as close to you as possible, but I understand you have privacy and that your fans don't sometimes understand where that line is.
Sure.
So what other people might find difficult, I find easy in the sense of like trying to find that balance.
And that's
like,
great.
Yeah. And just being like, you know what? You're really good at this and they really want this. Let's try to bridge that gap. And in a way, it's like really challenging, but I find that challenge to be really exciting.
That's pretty much what being a therapist is like. You're trying to accommodate the individual and make sure their quality of life is the best it can be.
Yeah.
It sounds like you have the right perspective on being a
Exactly,
manager.
yeah.
Because was it
I bow
the
down
cliche
to
where
you.
it's like, what's the difference between agents and managers? Managers are the ones that care.
Mm-hmm.
Agents don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just the joke.
I will tell
No,
you
it
that.
is a joke. And you know what? I can
It's
see
true.
some truth to
It's
that.
so true.
Some truth. Some agents are incredible.
Yeah, some
just care
I think
about
with
the
film,
dollars.
agents
No, I
are
think that
more
in
likely
general.
to care than musical agents
I think
in some
generally.
ways.
I don't know. It's funny. I'd say the opposite.
Really?
Yeah.
What'd you say?
Okay.
What'd you say?
All right.
That he said in film, agents care more about the people than in music. But I think it's the opposite.
I think it just comes down
I think
to
it's.
the,
I
the
agree
one
with
that's
Sally. It's the
managing.
other way. Yeah,
Word.
Well, regardless
it's
of the
music.
medium.
Word.
that they
Yeah.
care more.
I
about.
guess I always think of the minority like the Ari Emanuels and Brian Lords of like film. So
Oh, well, it's not. It's a whole nother era.
yeah, that's
And
true.
then-
That's
and
true.
then A publicist is like a
The
mixture
Vinces
of
of
both.
Entourage.
Yeah.
A publicist cares.
Yeah, I think it just comes down to like in the entertainment industry, like as an artist, you're lucky to have management that gives a shit about you.
Yeah.
And vice versa. Look, there's artists that don't appreciate their managers at
Yeah,
all, and their managers, all they do is bust their ass.
yeah.
And so I think you strike this gold when you give a shit and they give a shit, and then everyone's giving a shit. So what happens at the end of the day, everyone works their ass off and you mutually respect each other. And I think that's rare. And I think when you find that, it's incredible. And I'm like so lucky, I feel, to be in that space right now. And I'm just
What a
very
great.
I think
Oh,
I figured
yeah.
out the top 3 managers:
Oh,
Scooter
God.
Braun, Oliver Khatib, and Sally.
She is. She's gonna
Maybe
be
one
a,
day.
She no,
One day, I'm
not maybe
trying.
one day. She's gonna be. A really,
You're gonna get there.
Yeah,
You have the
she's gonna be a
mindset for it.
really,
Both of you
really
guys
dope
do.
manager. I'm really excited for Sally's career.
Okay, guys. Thank you so much.
No, both of you guys are gonna go
I'm
far
a
on what you're doing.
fan, guys.
I'm a fan of Sally.
I'm a fan of you.
I'm a fan of you.
I'm a fan of all of you.
I'm a fan of this podcast.
I
and
am
the
a
fact that
huge
you let us
fan of this
literally
podcast.
sit at this table and talk shit this whole time.
Yeah, this is such a good podcast. Such a good idea.
Yeah.
Thank you guys.
And you guys are gonna go far. I can tell.
I
This
also
is-
feel like it hasn't been said, but Pia is a boss ass bitch, and I respect her so much, and she
Bitch.
inspires me every day.
get the fuck out of
I'm
here.
dead
You're
serious.
such
I'm dead
Such a
serious.
stupid bitch.
On to IHOP then.
Yeah.
Do they deliver, guys?
Super
They
down for
deliver
that.
because I'm
Postmates, I
looking
help
on my
right now.
phone right now.
Thank you for having us.
No, seriously,
Seriously.
yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us and
Yeah.
For
talking.
sure.
Let us know if you want us back on, but I highly doubt your listeners
Maybe
would.
we'll have
Whenever
Sally
you
back
guys
on.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
We'll have Sally back on.
You
And
guys
if butt
didn't hear
stuff
the
come
last
up, you'll be
word.
the first two that will call.
Fuck
Yeah.
yeah.
But you know
Yeah, if
what?
you guys, let me tell you. Okay, let me
Yeah,
make
what's up?
one thing very clear for the
Yeah.
both of us, me and Sally, and I think Sally will attest to this.
Mm.
When this podcast blows up, because it will, and you guys end up sitting with either the Backstreet Boys,
Or
one of
or
them,
Justin Bieber.
one of them, or any, or all of them,
Or Aaron Carter.
or if you guys, no,
I
fuck
mean,
Aaron Carter,
Yeah, no.
or if you guys, or if you guys sit with one or all of BTS, if me and Sally aren't the first motherfucking people that you guys call, I will end this podcast. I want
she
that.
has the power.
I
She
want
does.
that. I want.
She really,
I
truly
want
does have the
that to
power.
be clear. That
Well,
when
thank you,
this
Pia.
podcast blows up, because it fucking will blow
Thank you.
up. I'm
Mm.
telling you right now. And you guys don't fucking call us, I'll kill you.
But
No,
we got
hey,
you.
I believe
death
it.
isn't on my
Like,
to-do
You
Yeah,
threatened
list.
to, you threatened to kill me for less reasons.
Yes,
So-
yes, yes. And this one is a very important one.
No, thank you guys for coming on.
Thank you
Yeah,
for
yeah,
having
thank you
us,
so much. We
seriously. Thank
really
you for having
appreciate
us.
it.
You guys have been
Thank you so
amazing.
much. This is so fun.
So,
It was fun.
as an outro, as usual, ladies and gentlemen, I always try to shed some light on newer artists. This is my boy, actually, from college days. He went to Williams College. This dude's super talented. He just moved from New York to Atlanta. So, hot Atlanta, give him a shout out. This dude's name is Mari. This song's called Roll Bounce. He's got this whole Outcast, new fucking flow to his shit. Yeah, this is Roll Bounce by Mari. Let's go.
You know that's how we roll. We know that's how we roll. We break it down like oh. We break it down like we break it down like supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Girl, I wanna lick that cat and that's my focus. When I dip, you dip, and I think you it. We compatible, looking like you want a passion. Girl, you fashionable. Let me break you like sabbatical. Even about your business, you deserve most of shit. 2020 focusing, coast to coast in a weekend. Bragging about you in your absence. Yeah, cause you got what I really want. I got what you really need. You know that's how we roll. Monday through Sunday, we break it down like you know that's how we roll. You know that's how we roll. We break it down like we break it down like. First, let me give you direction. Bow my head and say my grace and partake in this blessing. No 1 minute, man, I like seconds. I take one stroke and I'm flexing. Pop two, now we sweating. 3, 4, no protection. 9, 10, I miscounted my blessings. Is that what you want? Is that what you need? That first of the month, get paid, blow some trees. Then we order these and these. And are you into that? When I enter that, I be getting that right. Don't stop bending that arc back into that bounce at the end of the night. Hate when I miss that. Weave up, break it down, then we chief up. Hit me back with that. Re-up, no we stuff, and it's all because you know that's how we roll. Monday through Sunday, we break it down like you know that's how we roll. You know that's how we roll. We break it down like we break it down like we break it down like.
Show no shame.